from the ESL Frankfurt 2015 semifinal action, where EG did best at the time, Virtus Pro 2-0. Now it's Virtus Pro's chance to get some redemption and get more of those sweet points. Bringing you the coverage for this series matchup is myself, Kyle Guy, and I'm joined once again from my brother in crime. We got Purge back. How's it going, buddy?
Pretty good. We had a fail load before.
Yeah, nice
You guys
fart.
all got to see. That was not me. That was your. that was your mouth, dude.
That was
Don't
definitely
even,
you. Definitely you.
Oh, great! Just throwing it right on me.
Just kidding.
That was a wow. I've never seen 10 players fail load before. What the hell is going on, fart?
Couldn't help but giggle about that one. We had a nice giggle, but here we go. This is when I got the schedule, this was the matchup I was most looking forward to. Now we have been granted some wonderful matchups all throughout the day and even for us on the stream, but these are two teams who definitely love to Dota and love to brawl, so I'm really looking forward to it. We questioned the early debut of Evil Geniuses, a team notorious for having a lot of struggles in day one. They did have a slow start going against a newbie, but they did round out that series with a 1-1 split. I'm sure they want to be able to end out their first day strong, though, and look for a 2-0 sweep here. Virtus Pro, pretty much the same thing. They also had a 1-1 split with newbie, and they're probably looking to see if they can pull out a big upset. If you're able to take down a team like EG, who are considered the top in your group, and you lead off with 3 points, that puts you in a damn good spot when you go against everyone else.
Yeah, I'm sure EG can still do very well. They're already drastically changing up their strategy, and I'm sure they have tons and tons of strats here. Especially because they're one of the teams that really don't show that many strategies. I mean, coming into the summit, they didn't have very many strats that they'd revealed. They hadn't played a match on the new patch, and now I assume it's something similar. I mean, didn't they skip out on a couple other tournaments? They dropped out a Dota Pit, or was that secret? That was secret because
yes.
EG ended up winning in the finals. So
That's correct.
But they do actually abstain from a couple smaller things. That way they can hold their strats. And going into TI, starting off with a Naga Quap. Like 3 games so far now, 3 completely different drafts.
We saw that infamous performance where Aoi took over the game on his 4-position Naga, which quickly became the position 1. This guy is very intelligent and knows how to find the farm. We already know the various setups that Naga could help from and benefit. Look for them to get that kind of benefit as maybe a possible backup. Disruptor seems to be one of the favorite supports, taking advantage of that song. But look at the response from Virtus Pro, getting very brash at the start. Lead in with a Tusk, followed up with a Bloodseeker. Dare I say maybe a Techies could be thrown into the mix? Who really knows?
That's what everybody keeps saying, but we haven't seen it yet. No techies yet in TI5.
Oh, I hope we're the first.
Hopefully that carries over to pub games as well. I do like Naga Siren versus BS a lot, though, because of Ensnare. It's like something I've never thought about before, but the hero's very fast, and you need a way to make him not move, and it stops him from moving, and it works through BKB. So there's essentially no counter for Bloodseeker unless you maybe Yule's dodge or Blink dodge the net while it's midair. I think you can avoid it then. So kind of a cool counter there, and you can also just sleep the rest of the team if he does end up initiating. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, like you said, you can always go roaming around with him. He's got some minus armor, some good nukes. A little vulnerable to Tusk because Tusk is very burst heavy. Plus you have some good AoE to clear out the illusions. But with the start here, EG can go a lot of different ways with their draft. And
Yeah.
if they really wanted to, they could even carry Naga Siren. So I like their picks so far.
It's very comfortable for them right now, very open-ended. They really hate Disruptor, man. 3rd game straight, they're going to ban it out in the 2nd phase here. Really just, it can be a really good answer for the Queen of Pain, not being as elusive and being able to lock her down with that Stack Storm. It's definitely justifiable. Always catches people off guard quite a bit. But we'll have to see where they decide to take it from here and see if they want to change things up quite a bit. No PL is going to be awarded to Evil Geniuses. Was banned out from Virtus Pro along with the Storm Spirit. But look at this. Alina now going to be the 4th ban here for EG.
Yeah, they seem to have a very good understanding of heroes and picks because their picks are not super consistent from game to game.
Yeah.
The only thing that seems consistent is some of their bans. The Disruptor, like you said, and occasionally the Lesh. This seems like this must be their Bloodseeker strat, in my opinion, because they let the Bloodseeker through. They got 2 heroes that can work against it. Maybe not best in a 1v1 scenario because the previous game when they were against the Bloodseeker, I believe they banned the Queen of Pain. No, I'm sorry, that was a different team. That was VP playing against Newbie, I believe.
Yeah.
VP actually ended up banning the Bloodseeker. But pretty consistent ban so far. But when we saw the Bloodseeker versus Quap before, it seemed like a really Bloodseeker-favored matchup. We'll see if that happens again this game. But Naga can definitely help pressure. If she shows up in the lane, you got a big nuke, you got some minus armor, and Queen of Pain can definitely help punish with that. So I feel like they can pressure the Bloodseeker. It shouldn't necessarily be a instantly one lane. And the Naga should also transition very well as Bloodseeker safety, as I said before.
They still have to get that secondary support who could be babysitting, and it was going to say Earthshaker or Dazzle, but before I could finish, they grab up the Dazzle instead. So
well, this is like the same draft that VP did against the Bloodseeker, I believe.
An advantage for
that was
Virtus
the
Pro
game that they ended up losing against Newbie. They had a Dazzle with the Naga Siren, and they really didn't move enough, I felt. Maybe it wasn't versus the Bloodseeker, but they picked up that support duo with Dazzle Naga, and they just kind of sat around most of the time, I felt. Didn't really get a whole lot done, so that was weird. But I think Dazzle is very good against Bloodseeker, keep everybody healed up. Combos with Naga Siren nicely if you can jump on top of somebody. But there's a counter pick.
The Silencer. Virtus Pro Silencer. Now we got a nice little tidbit here. You know, something Virtus Pro do that most teams don't. Picking a lot of silencers.
Side closet here,
Chop
his way through the juke lord.
Some
Take it out there,
maybe
Owie.
they'll pull out a silencer as a support in response to something like a Storm or something like that, an Enigma maybe. Illidan loves to play this silencer. He has 7 games with it in 6.84, currently sporting a nice 5-2 record, pretty respectable.
Yeah.
You compare that to everyone else who've played silencer 15 times in addition, 5-10. So out of the 22 times Silencer's been picked, Illidan controls most of the top-notch Silencer play so far. So it's definitely a hero to be feared. He knows what he's doing on it, and his item buildup is also very unique. He'll build up. He doesn't go right for a refresher or a Ags rush right away. He'll step off. He'll get the Atos. He'll get the mech first and foremost. Builds into more of a utility, a fighter. Builds up a little bit of durability, and then later in the game we'll decide to go into the luxurious like refresher and from there on forward.
And it's looking like a very good silencer game. It's one counter against the Naga Sleep. The purpose of the Naga Sleep is, your fight's going bad, let's reset. Well, you got 3 to 5 seconds for silencer ulti where that's not possible unless Naga Siren somehow falls into a Yule Scepter or a Manta style, which is very, very unlikely. And it's also extremely good against Dazzle, too, another counter to prevent Grave from just being a huge nuisance. So only downside to Silencer is that his burst damage is very low. So at least as the fight starts, it's not very good for helping Bloodseeker run fast. And that's the biggest issue with their draft right now is that they don't really have anything that's going to help Bloodseeker be better other than himself and maybe Tuskar. Treant, very low damage. Silencer has good DPS over maybe 5 seconds, but in that first bit of time, he's not going to be able to supercharge the Bloodseeker. So that's where I'm seeing some weaknesses in their draft.
Yeah, the Treant Protector seems to be catching me off guard. It did a lot of work for them, in particular the hands of FNG in their series against Newbie. But here, it's not like there's the big Team Wombo combo factor. I guess you got the Overgrowth secures a Blood Right, so for the easy silence setup that Bloodseeker can take advantage of. But on top of that, as of yet, I mean, they still obviously have one more slot to pick up, I imagine being possibly their secondary support if this is going to be an off-lane Tusk. Some way to really utilize that Overgrowth even further. Because aside from that, it's not like ringing any bells to me that EG are looking to be very objective-based, like they want to siege towers fast, and you want to have Treant there to kind of defend those towers. Maybe it's just a comfort hero that Virtus Pro like to go for FNG. Is there something maybe I'm missing here, Purge, that Treant really offers? Maybe this 5th pick could reveal a lot more. I'm not too sure.
It's a lot of the same stuff we talked about the last time the VP picked Treant. It's the armor with the Bloodseeker. It is the Wombo combo, the Treant ult with Bloodseeker, Blood Right into silence, which is, I mean, imagine if they got global silenced, then Treant ults them, and then Bloodseeker Blood Rights them for another science. Yeah. There's no way you win that team fight, in my opinion, unless somehow Clockwork casts the spells before that and does some damage. Like, there's a lot of combo potential, and the last time we saw that was when Newbie picked like a super combo team, and it ended up just wrecking Virtus Pro really hard, I felt. So, maybe things are going to squeeze through, they're going to get an advantage, and all of a sudden their 5 team fight abilities are going to give them a huge advantage.
All right, look at the back end of these drafts here, Purge. It's going to be a Templar Assassin. Bit of an audible call here from Evil Geniuses, or maybe something they had a plan in motion. They're going to throw Fear into the Queen of Pain in that safe lane farming position, and Sumail will be playing the Templar Assassin. It is Radiant side. Typically, most TAs, I know, from the mid lane do prefer more on the Dire side, but strong advantage nonetheless, and maybe anticipation that it would be a one-on-one matchup against the Bloodseeker. We'll be able to kind of match up as far as the hard right click with the help of Meld, but it will be an intriguing one nonetheless. We don't get to see TA Bloodseeker very often go toe-to-toe.
Yeah, definitely not. It scales pretty well late game as well, since BS is a bit countered by minus armor, and you usually want to grab some kind of a physical damage source to combo with the Dazzle, so I think that synergy there is pretty good. And he's also not super hard countered by the Silencer because there's not a lot of damage sources, and Templar is not super reliant on casting spells to be useful during a team fight, and often builds BKB anyway. So I think it's a pretty good pick considering what's happening here. Does have to deal with Shadow Shaman, though. That is going to be a bit of an issue. That hero is going to be hexing and shackling TA as much as possible. And if Lil plays very similar to how he did earlier, we're going to see some ward traps, and that may force Templar Assassin to go phase boots.
All right, here we go, folks. Another best of 2 for you. One of these teams walks out with a 2-0 win. They will secure 3 points. If it's a 1-1 split, each team will grab 1 point on their way out. The third showing here for a lot of these teams, Evil Geniuses, Virtus Pro. It's going to be their second series here for TI5. And they're already heading towards the top-hand side here where Lil is awaiting Universe to do that traditional ops placement. Not going to get the luxury this time. The second he gets a quick peep, he decides to step back into the lane instead. So he'll have to decide to step back and wait out, and we'll have to see where things go from here. Really a lot at stake. And just based on the item matchups, it does look like G is going to be possibly not in the mid lane. It looks like he's going to go to the top, and Illidan's going to take over the mid lane. He's got a null and a couple of shared tangos.
Yeah, it does look like that. I guess he could get an early level Curse of the Silent, and after they use Refraction, you curse him. He can't cast any spell until he gets meld, and then he'll get burned 5 times, I believe. 6 seconds of mana loss there. Yeah, he does grab Curse of the Silent here. So he's waiting for the Refraction. It'll burn off. Oh, going to grab AUI. This looks really bad for him. Despite having Poor Man's Shield, he's taking a lot of damage. Gets Blood Rage low, but they turn it. FNG getting kind of low due to the heal. AUI is going to be able to stay alive, I believe. Yeah, and they get first blood on FNG instead.
What a catch. That works out beautifully. Universe being able to show up, intercepts with a beautiful cog drop, and it isolates enough that they can get their own kill. It's going to be Evil Geniuses who scathe out of that one, and it turns over into a profit for them. They get their first blood, and they immediately disperse them after. Already mid lane, you can see Illidan popping out that curse right after the Refraction's used, and he's going to just try to see if he can poke down some CS and give Sumail a difficult time here as this TA matchup for Silencer. Not one we're used to seeing either, and I don't know if how much experience Sumail has going against it.
It looks like a really annoying lane for Templar Assassin here because he basically isn't going to have a whole lot of mana here. Illidan isn't going to cast Curse until he casts Refraction, so maybe the solution is you just hold on to Refraction until he casts it on you. But he's taking so much right-click damage now from Illidan. And the worst part is that he has Glaives, which if you cast it, does pure damage, and it doesn't aggro creep. So he can basically just pressure Sumail. He might even kill him here. Oh, he's going to be okay. But that was so low, and look at the danger. And Illidan's just going to completely dominate this lane.
Beautiful setup for Virtus Pro. He's looking to take over, and Sumail's going to have to reach out for some help. We looked at PPD. He's going to have to get a TP scroll in the near future just in case something does end up going down. He might have to be there as a paramedic with that shallow grave. Top lane, what is this? They are diving past this tier 1 purge, and they are just saying, Universe, get the hell back. They're happy to just kind of keep him isolated. And Aoi also turning the corner, Riptide. And look at this. Lil now looking to go on the retreat.
Oh, he's in trouble. He's got boots, though.
He's able to make it away. This battery assault, though, is definitely catching him. And no, they don't get him into the cogs. Yeah, he's bumped back and away. Now FNG is just trying to clobber him as much as possible. G even looking to get involved. Virtus Pro, man, just as tenacious as ever.
They don't respect towers.
No, they do not.
Like, that's fine. I'll hang out over here. And it's not that dangerous because their disables are a bit weak on EG in the early game. You know, it's a Dazzle. It's a Naga Siren. They've got the damage, they've got the tankiness, but only does so much there. So a salve brought to Sumail. Sumail might die mid. He's got a 1 Refraction left. He'll pop in now, and that will give him a couple sources. He's going to be okay here, but what a tough lane. He already brought himself a salve. Now he does have his bottle finished, so he's got a light at the end of the tunnel, but what a scary 1v1 here.
He is still managing to find the better of the CS. He's sacrificing his own body, eating that punishment just to make sure he gets the farm. 12 and 4 CS. Illidan, who's able to get the better on trades, is still trailing behind just by a little bit, 10, but he has more denies at 8, so it kind of balances itself out a bit. Sumail, though, it's very apparent he's going to need some extra bits of assistance. The bottle certainly helps, but the second he gets it, he needs to send it right back to the fountain because that's pretty much all he needed just to kind of stay back and healthy. He's going to build up some stacks for himself, it looks like, while Illidan continues to just work in this mid lane. FNG kind of hanging out nearby. Don't know if it's overly necessary at this point, but just kind of being as a nearby babysitter.
He's going to want level 2, I think, because at level 1, Treant Protector is a bit of a weak hero if you go for Leech Seed, and you got the Leech Seed for the level 1 fight. And I just realize Sumail got that first blood on the Treant. If he didn't do that, I guarantee he would have lost this lane.
Oh, yeah.
Because he just got his bottle, and I was a little surprised about that because his CS was pretty low, but it was because he got that 400 gold boost. That's really, really important for him. If he didn't have that, man, I could totally see Illidan just running away with this mid lane.
They're pressuring Lilla back to keep him at bay. G decides he wants to charge on forward here. Going to get some minor chunk damage here, but can't go too far. Universe is nearby, of course, and can always pop out some cogs. Haven't checked much on the bottom lane here. Phobos dodges a Shadow Strike to roll on forward to Fear and kind of bullies him back a bit. So DK Phobos now at level 4, 7-1 CS. You compare that over to Universe, who is splitting the lane XP, so obviously he's not going to be as quick. He's at level 3 and has 0 CS yet, so it's going very nicely for Virtus Pro on both the mid and the bottom.
Treant taking a bit of damage here as he does go for the rune steal, and he snags it. They're still kind of chasing him, but I don't see this kill happening. Universe won't be able to catch up. It was only going to work if he turned to fight, maybe, but he wasn't going to do that, so no threat there. Illidan up to level 5 now, and Sumail at 4. Bottle crying for the rest of his life, basically.
Hope no one in the other lanes really needed items from the fountain to be delivered, because Sumail is really going to be occupying the use of this bottle. Aui's nearby just in case. Aui with the poor man's shield buildup on this Naga, anticipating that when she's assisting these lanes is going to be taking some shots, so is already prepared for it. But, you know, because of the pressure that's been built on from Sumail and he needs the help nearby, it kind of relieves the pressure for Virtus Pro everywhere else. G at 31 and 20 CS, the highest in the game. He's getting grossly farmed.
Yeah.
Could even see him go right for the Midas.
The other thing that really helped him is that Sumail's been at like 10% HP almost the entire game due to all the harass. So
yeah,
there's always damage on top of him compared to most TAs where they usually have pretty high HP, but he's just been really survival, or he's been very low, so really big damage on G, and he's been able to do whatever he wants in the safe lane.
And for Fear, 32 and 10, still doing very nice. Has a mango even on this Queen of Pain here.
Kind of an interesting early pick, but he probably did it because he was going safe lane. He obviously makes a Ring of Basilius. Most mid heroes that go safe lane go for the basey. But the mango guarantees that even if he didn't have a bottle, it gave him a bit more mana to potentially get a scream that gets a kill or something like that. And it's a bit more HP regen in the safe lane as well. So it's a very rarely purchased item, but occasionally it's worth it.
Curse on mid. Oh, he's trying to get the leech seed, but it's not going to be able to connect. Sumail steps back, has no mana for refraction, and he'll have to wait for probably the bottle return. Otherwise, he risks being in a very unsafe position. Illidan just gets his bottle, so he's going to quickly bottle up, and he might just go right for Sumail thereafter. We'll have to see. But, of course, this is all fueling the damage here for G. And as you can see, he's cutting the wave, using that extra bit of damage boost, and just farming up even further.
PPD is playing really greedy this game, actually. He's not sacrificing his hero to zone out the Tusk. Instead, he's just been pulling. And he's level 4 here at the 6-minute mark. So it's an interesting choice. Most people say zone the offlaner hero, but maybe he's like, you know what, I could just die to a Tusk. If he ice shards me in the right way and I get a creep wave caught, I'm just going to die. But instead, he plays really aggressive. And the cool part is that Dazzle can really power farm with this because of healing creep. So he's able to clear 3 jungle camps here by moving through rather than just doing 2 camps.
Yep.
So he's getting a lot out of this. He's going to hit level 6 like almost the same as a typical mid-hero hits. So that's pretty incredible. He's only about 2 levels behind his mid-hero. And as a hard support, that's great.
He's been reserving his points just in case something's to break out, whether he needs a quick shallow grave or a quick poison to go more on the assault. He's decided to hold them for now. Doesn't have a TP, though. You know, maybe it'd be nice to have it. He has it now. There it is. Now, just in case something does break out, he can quickly show up, and he'll have the grave ready to go. So it puts him in a good spot, and he can go right back to his jungle work here and profit that much more from it. But Phobos, that means that he's not going to get zoned back, and he will be uncontested pretty frequently on being able to step forward and find his own bits of XP and scraps of farm. G on the move now. It looks like ever since he got his level 6 in Rupture, adventured away from this top lane, hoping to catch out Fear in the bottom, but they're actually going mid lane. They're going for Illidan. He gets the help from the Living Armor. Sonic Wave not going to do a whole lot. Snowball forward onto Fear. They're going to get the kill. Now they look to Sumail, who is going to get taken apart. 3 down all day. PPD as well even going down, getting involved in that. Virtus Pro, clean house.
I was just a little bit of an overdive and a lot of damage protection coming from the Treant, actually. Living Armor, I mean, it takes the source of the damage off the top, and that was a Scream that was level 4, reduced it to 260. And then the Sonic Wave as well, doing 290 pure damage, in which case damage block is amazing. That only did 250 damage. That was then reduced. I mean, Illidan barely took anything from that. And he's actually got a pretty good strength gain at 2.2 on Silencer. So he just ate all that damage. They overdived a little bit, and a very, very easy kill there due to the Bloodseeker being in the area and the great support rotations.
Holding strong, FNG putting in the overtime to make sure that when EG overcommit, they will be quickly handled. Illidan with a bottled haste rune now just continues to farm up. Didn't even need to use his ultimate in that previous skirmish, keeping Aoi himself at bay. But look at this big stack here. But Illidan, he's onto it. He does get scouted out from the illusion, and it looks like they ping it out for now. We'll see if Virtus.pro are quick on the scene. Look at FNG hiding under the shadow here. We'll be able to spot out Sumail, leads in with a leech seed, and he's getting body blocks here without even being spotted.
Oh, he could die.
Oh, he pops out the global and a new curse. This could be the end of Sumail here. One more right click, he got it. He will go down. Now FNG in a bit of trouble. Universe catches him with the cogs, and they'll get him with the help of the battery assault. Now Illidan, look at this. He's going into 3 just to get PPD, and he's got that haste rune, like you said, to walk out scot-free. But he is happy to stay and be as ballsy as ever, trying to make it go into Aoi. Aoi, will that finish him off? It might. It will pop at the end. No. Nope, just the curse. It was fine.
Dazzle making a huge mistake there. He thought he was going to take one more hit from the glaive there, and then he was going to grave himself, but he didn't cast it. He was just waiting for a moment, and it killed him. So an extra kill going to Illidan that he maybe shouldn't have gotten there. And this is all due to the support ward that was first put down. If a Templar Assassin gets behind, they often do a lot of jungling, and putting a ward on the Ancient spot and getting him all the way around allowed them to take advantage of that. And how lucky to also have a haste rune during that moment, because man, a silencer is basically limited by their disable on the opponents, but once you have a haste, it's basically like you're permanently slowing them because of your movement speed advantage. So really big plays there from Illidan in the mid lane. He's playing great mid.
And a silencer, just one of those heroes that can technically scale as long as there's going to be kills shed. I mean, he already has 8 stolen intel to stack on top, and that can only continue to get better. So for him to be able to participate in these kind of kills, 3-0-1, only makes things that much more juicy as the game does progress. VP off to a solid start, 5-2. Looking over to Universe, does get his level 6. It looks like he's ready to put this hook shot to use. Already departing from the lane and looking to potentially rendezvous up here, possibly with PPD and company. We'll see where they put their priorities. Fear's back on bottom lane. He's got it near 800 gold. But at that same moment, you look to G on the other side of the world. He's got his Midas now complete, and he is starting to farm through these woods. This Bloodseeker can get out of hand really fast if there's not going to be an answer for him.
Yeah, especially with the Blood Rage increase and the Midas and all that stuff. Like, and it also gives space to the supports. We talked about this a ton in the last game where they had a Bloodseeker. Shadow Shaman has just been sitting in the safe lane. He's almost level 6 here. It's a little bit slow for a typical support, but you know, this is time to catch up. He's going to get 6. He's hopefully going to be able to farm an Arcane Boots, and that'll allow him to have a lot more mana when it comes to the pushes later. So despite all this pressure, Sumail still has a godly 56 CS, which blows my mind here. Any other player would so crumble under that pressure. It's been a really, really tough game for him due to the super hard counter pick that Silencer put out. But yeah, man, they can still win this if he just stays calm and doesn't super tilt here. And I can't believe he hasn't tilted yet.
And on the other side, Virtus.pro, with their advantage, they're going to look to hold this momentum. They smoke, and they're looking to invade here. They're going to spot out Fear. They're looking to go for the immediate silence after, but they don't have the catch. So that's just a silencer global down, getting nothing out of it. So bit of a win there for EG. Illidan decided to pull back. Now it is note that he has a vitality booster, so he's going to go for what he loves to go for, the Atos buildup.
Yeah, and Atos is one of the best games in the items in the game at a certain point. It's only really good the first 30 minutes or so, after which it becomes much, much weaker and feels like a liability in the item slots. But if you get it very, very early when people are limited on Force Staffs, Blink Daggers, all that stuff, it's a 60% slow on a very, very low cooldown, 10 seconds, and it slows by like 60% is so much. And it also gives you 30 int and 350 HP. It has been buffed and buffed and buffed. And on a hero like Silencer who just needs some disable and some HP, it is the perfect item.
It gives you a lot of HP. So be in a really good spot. Later in the game when they have forces and blinks, as you said, not as viable, turns into more of a luxurious Lincoln's popper. But instead, as it stands for now, he's going to look to get it quick and really utilize its prime state. Look at this, DK Phobos.
They want to
kill Nature's guys. Yeah, they really want Fear, but Fear knows there's a lot missing. Decides to go into a more passive position here, hiding behind the tower, not looking to get caught out whatsoever. Virtus.pro also know they don't have that global ready to go, so getting a catch onto Fear would be that much trickier. So they're not going to make any sort of committed jump. Universe still looking to make a strong debut of his hook shot so far. Ever since he left the top lane, as soon as he got his level 6, they were trying to make a jump happen onto the mid lane Illidan, but they couldn't find the opportunity. And it probably was for the better because DK Phobos at the time was waiting there in Viz for a good counterplay. But look at this. They move in. Smoke is popped because they know FNG's nearby. They got the dust ready to go. They entrap him, and they're going to get the kill. Nicely done. Fear's going to pick up the last hit on that one. EG get themselves another kill.
It was a great read to anticipate him being over there and possibly sapping experience. I don't know if they looked at the scoreboard and said, oh, he's almost level 6 or what, but that was a really good pickup. Oh, it looks like they had an observer ward. Maybe they didn't see him retreat, probably when Invis hit, something like that. So either way, great kill. It'll give him some bit of experience boost and all that good stuff. In the meantime, AUI in the top lane just trying to sap experience. He's picked up a level 6. Not really farmed at all. The tower's also going to fall, and with that said, he's going to hide. That way, if they do wrap around, they won't find him.
Sleep deny, maybe? But
that's tough with wards because I think wards don't get slept, so they still hit you through it.
Yeah.
And then Bloodseeker gets fast, and then you're like, no, don't kill me. And he runs you down, and you cry as he kills you.
They had a couple allies rotating in, so obviously for the better that Aoi didn't even try to contest that tower whatsoever. But as you can see, the levels coming together even for the support Shadow Shaman on the side of Virtus Pro. Level 8 already for Lil. Bracer build up for now. Looks like possibly an Urn in the near future, but, you know, Shadow Shaman, one of the best as far as pushing forward with the objectives. Remember last year, Roche's old position, it would be a crazy game not to see a Dire side team not pick up a Shadow Shaman just because it was so easy to be able to move in and either get tier 1 objectives or go for the Roche right away. We'll see if that's going to be the case for them or not, but look at this 4-man movement. They smoke up. They're on the prowl.
2 smokes on Shadow Shaman. He's like, we're going to smoke the rest of the game, guys. I mean, we're just getting kills. They got to put the pressure on. I definitely think that's true. They're trying to kill Fear before he gets his Yules, because once he gets this, he's not going to be as vulnerable to Global Silence. Right now, Global Silence is a super hard counter. They're going to find PPD, though. Here comes the snowball. He does get caught.
That's the high five to Jesus, I like to call Purge. He goes right up, says, how you doing, comes right back down, and falls right into his grave.
That was a lot of heroes in that snowball, and they moved really fast. And that is a dead PPD. Not much you could do about that.
That felt like a brief glimpse of PPD, too. They're like, they saw him, they snowballed, they went. It was just so quick to react. Clearly on point right now for Virtus Pro as they pressure this bottom lane. It looks like EG trying to make a split happen here. Sumail, knock it at it right now. Going to get hit up with a curse. Him and Fear go on the back pedal. FNG not going to be able to get close enough for an overgrowth. And Phobos not looking to push forward with a snowball or anything yet. Just all hands almost on deck here for Virtus Pro and trying defending out this tier 1 mid lane. But look at Lil on the bottom. He's like, don't worry, guys. I'll finish off what we started bottom. And he gets the kill with the help of the wards. And
really, so efficient. Like, they move down to gank. They get a gank off. They leave one support there who can solo take a tower. Like, that is so valuable as a hero. They're just really being efficient with their hero resources right now. G continues to farm, but the thing I really want to point out is that Sumail is awfully close to top farm right now. They were actually dead close until that tower died and he finished this ancient stack. And that's incredible considering his pressure. I'm gonna stop harping how amazing he's been playing this game in a moment, but I think that one was well deserved because we haven't talked about his net worth yet, but he's totally up there.
We witnessed the early laning punishment that Illidan put on, and for him to kind of shake that one off and recover is definitely a strong testament. But here comes Universe! Oh man, what a setup! With the cogs and the sonic wave, they do serious work, but they are able to heal up, and Virtus Pro still stands strong. They are going to lose DK Phobos. Sumail looking at charging, could get clean up here, gets 2 kills of G right thereafter. Illidan stuck on the high ground. Aoi sets out the song before anyone can retreat. They're going to recoup, move in. Lil's going to go down, and Illidan there next. What a beautiful setup, but he gets the kill on the Aoi before he goes down. Still a strong trade for Evil Geniuses, and they're going to be able to finish up the Roche.
They actually didn't have detection up there. If he stopped attacking, he would have been fine, but he went for the kill and he gets AUI, and he does, but Sumail now is going to be able to steal the Roche, so what a huge swing for EG here. Getting all of those kills. Great team fight. Cog ulti on 2. FNG getting caught mid. They've got the dust as well. FNG's going to go down. Yules as well on Tuskar. Can they get more? Or are they going to back off? Meld Strike doing a ton on DK Phobos. 2 hits down to half. 3.
Oh, they really want to pursue this, but they see the TP's coming in. Lil shows up first. They're going to go for him. Ether shock out, drops the wards for this one, but he should go down here. Shackles Sumail as long as possible. Ultimately will be dropped. PPD moves in, gets a nice shallow grave. Long blink from Fear after being caught with the rupture brings him down to next to nothing. G's able to easily clean them up. Now he's on the chase. He wants Sumail. Sumail goes for the TP. He's gone. That refraction certainly helps up a strong barrier.
He died the last ward in the fountain, so still went down there, but that was cool. That was cool, man. He's got his Manta picked up, the fast Manta rush, the obvious counter to silences, whether that's Bloodseeker silence or the global silence coming out of Silencer. And now his net worth is a full 1,700 gold over the Bloodseekers. He is in the lead.
That is just crazy. This all started, the lead-in from that Roche setup, Universe, beautiful cogs, follow-up from Fear with the Sonic Wave, annihilates VP. They are weak and wounded. The second Sumail shows up, he's easily able to clean house. Takes a couple of lives. Of course, we see Illidan stuck on the high ground, awkward position, ends up taking a life of his own, but with that Roche snag, they go right towards the mid lane for the tier 1. Virtus Pro not looking to hand over so much. They get into their own skirmish, but still EG, who seem to be in a very nice spot. This definitely puts things a lot more into perspective for both. You can see by net worth, EG just really taking the strongest point in this game.
I really like AUI's build compared to how we saw the other, was it VP, I believe, play. Lil, I think, played the Naga Siren earlier today. He went for like a 1-4-2 build or something with 1 mirror image and 4 ensnare, whereas AUI has been really focusing on maxing out mirror image instead. And he's doing this because it increases his farm rate by a lot more. His illusions do an extra 15% of his original base damage per hit, and they also tank twice as much damage. So just by simply having mirror images, he's able to farm jungle camps and get last hits more often and play like his old throwback carry role. And it's been really useful. He's got items this game compared to how Lil had it. Lil had like a Brown Boots, Magic Wand, Urn early today and really didn't make Naga Siren support look good. But this guy's been able to farm a mech by himself up to 20 minutes, and he's going to be relevant for the rest of the game because of this.
And the ceiling on this Naga is so high that if he needs to segue into a more of a core position, Aui's done it before, and he would not be afraid to do it again.
I think the reason he's going this build, by the way, obviously Arcane Mech is a great item on any support that can farm, but what he's aiming for is the Guardian Greaves, because if he gets those, he can debuff himself and remove the silence. So not only does it help his team out, but he can say, oh, global silence? All right, remove that, pop the mech, song, bam. No problem. Completely counters what the silencer is picked for, which is the global. Really, really cool itemization by AUI. He's completely reading this game.
Could also see maybe even Universe pick up something like a Lotus Orb also to help out. That also could work out on an ally removing the silence and could benefit a bit. Maybe you send back the Rupture, a Leech Seed, a Snowball even. Who knows? Hex. Lotus Orb could be a nice grab for Universe and would help out in addition with that silence. So
blink up on Sumail now. So further leveraging his already really good attack speed with the Treads and the Manta style. Ward's getting plopped down on the mid lane, and it looks like VP wanted to take a fight there, but they maybe just misread EG's positioning a bit since they were set at mid and EG was all top. Maybe they feel worried about a fight as well. I feel like the team fight could go either way, really.
I'm curious to see. Looking to catch anyone on the way out.
Nobody on the silence hook shot.
Weave does go out, a big one at that.
DK.
Universe moves in, gets a hold of DK. Phobos still fighting under the wards, going to get the Grave help, pops his own Blade Mail, and could be going down, waiting for the Snowball.
Oh, big ult.
Big ult from Fear on that southern front. He gets off a huge Sonic Wave. And now FNG still trying to hide under the cover, but they see him. Riptide connects. He's trying to run with Company G as well in pursuit. Aoi will be able to catch him out. Gets to sleep onto FNG and Phobos and G at this point. Sumail is waiting to clear out the tree. And Lil gets Lil, first one down. Now they move forward. They're going to get PPD as an exchange. Meanwhile, Aoi and Sumail are able to clean out the rest of FNG. Now it's VP looking to retreat. Illidan gets to the high ground. Will TP out from trouble. DK Phobos already walking away. A big fight trade again. It ends up being a 2-for-2, it looks like, Purge. Relatively split. You have to consider as well the Tier 1 went down for Virtus Pro, so maybe a slight nod their way, but the cores of EG definitely benefited a lot.
Yeah, and with that said, Sumail's about to take his Tier 1 of his own. And as soon as he saw the enemies were gone, he's like, oh, I'll kill these Ancients, and then I'm going to shift over and take your Tier 1. He actually blinks forward, scares DK Phobos back, and back to farming. Desolator is up next. 2 hammers in the bank.
And it's cheaper now, so it's not going to take that long to get the recipe.
This is just, I feel like the Bloodseeker here has been able to farm really hard, and his KDA looks really good, but I feel like his impact has felt a little weak thus far. And I also feel like he's really countered by the TA here. Like, he doesn't have a very good solution. If he ruptures TA to start the fight, it's really good for VP. But if that's not what the case is, then I feel like Bloodseeker is going to have a rough time being effective in the team fight, at least for DPS reasons.
Now, Illidan for now steps up and has the value ulti orb put together here. Are we wagering a sheep stick as a possible pickup, a Lincoln Sphere?
I think it has to be Hex, because, like you said, sheep stick, because it counters the Templar Assassin so well. You could do a Hex, or maybe he could Manta Split, and then you can Hex him afterwards. Something like that is probably the best solution. Just the hard lockdown is so nice to have. It also stops Queen of Pain. Queen of Pain feels invulnerable right now because she has a Eul. She can remove the sounds from herself. But if you can also start the fight, disable them for 3.5 seconds, global silence so that Dazzle can't actually grave somebody, and then blow that person up, it completely changes how the team fights go. So they need a hard disable like that. They can't just rely on Tusk or Shadow Shaman doing the chain stuns. It's nice to have it on a core as well.
And they're going to also need to have a bit more come out here. Lil has been putting up good farm and is stepping up. Not really surprising from a Shadow Shaman who's able to kind of burst down some towers for himself with the help of the wards. But then you look at FNG, and he's feeling a bit poor here. He's got the magic wand, the boots, the Harry Potter setup, I like to call it.
Yeah.
And he really doesn't have a whole lot to offer. Just some living armors. But is that going to be enough? Even an Overgrowth, I don't feel, is going to be doing too much work to EG. It seems like they have a couple of ways to just kind of bounce out from it.
Yeah, Eul's, Manta style, all those are options, but if they burn their Manta on something like the Treant ulti, then Global Silence becomes more valuable. And in most cases, Treant Protectors really don't have many items, and it's more of a scouting, invis, armor, and potential Overgrowth. Like, Overgrowth is still an amazing ability, despite it doing no damage, and the disable being removable in some ways. So I think it's still going to provide some value here for FNG. It's just he did get picked off a couple too many times due to smart reads from EG.
G going right back into his own farm. He now holds his own ulti orb this game.
Yeah.
Scotty build up?
Yeah, same build as last time. I think he went SNY Midas. He did get a BKB because they were so stun heavy, but BKB does nothing against TA this game, so he's better off just going for the Scotty build up or whatever he's opting to build. Almost surely will be a Scotty, help him chase down people. If he just hits the TA once and then runs away, that's going to slow her for a very long time and will limit her DPS output. So may end up being Scotty, most likely, but the only problem with that is that it's very HP heavy, Scotty, as an item, and it doesn't really help you against minus armor that much. It only gives you like 3 armor or something like that. Yeah, a little bit, about 3.5 armor. So you kind of need to mix your Scotty afterwards with an armor item. So I feel like he's going to have to go like either Butterfly for the evasion or for an AC immediately afterwards, and that's really the only way that he's going to end up being able to even come close to beating the TA late.
The thing is yeah, you're putting all this pressure and trying to beat a TA late, but this Naga could also creep on them. I mean, he's already got Guardian Greaves and 1k gold saved up. This game starts inching a bit too far. You can run into some trouble, but it looks like they couldn't nip that in the butt. They cross paths with Owie, who pops his Guardian Greaves the second he gets caught out, but he gets shackled down. Here comes Illidan turning the corner.
Okay, you got it.
Oh, a song and the sleep. Before any sort of silence could come out, Owie's able to make it away.
Yeah, Illidan maybe could have ultied there to guarantee the kill, but PPD TP'd out. They had the chain stun, and then they ran out of stuns. Like, the other problem is that if they just do the... No, they could have just killed him. He wouldn't have been able to TP out in time without getting his ulti off. So I guess he just didn't want to pop the global because then EG could have just grouped up and like, all right, we're going to take a tower or two.
Like, it's just a support Naga, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of feels like a waste. And Silencer immediately walking into the Roche pit by himself. This is, I guess they have no Naga sleep. Another thing that makes Roshing pretty hard. So I guess that's the trade as well. Why use Global Silence kill him when you could just say, okay, now we get a team fight advantage when we go for the Roche.
They still got a clockwork, though, Purge, and they already scouted out with a rocket, and we saw June get a brilliant snag in the last series. Let's see if Universe can do one of his own.
Sumail not quite here. Blood rages up on Roche.
Is very, very low. Fear, Sonic Wave from the low ground. Now it is going to get picked up from Illidan.
Yeah, they don't want to fight.
They'll step back and away.
So he threw that ult just for the off chance that he could snipe Roche, because then his team would get essentially a tower worth of gold. Didn't get it. 35-second cooldown, 40-second cooldown, sorry. No problem at all. So yeah, not a huge loss there. Other than the whole Aegis and gold for your opponent's thing. What's the big deal? Who got bound? Who got it, by the way? Silencer picked it up.
Yeah.
Very, very smart pick. He's pretty vulnerable right now to TA. I could see a TA 3-4 shotting him easily. So he really needs some survivability fast, whether that's going to be a Ghost Scepter, a Hex, or a Blink Dagger. All would be options, I think.
Yeah. It's good. They'll have the security that if they make a jump onto the Silencer early in hopes that they could stop them from getting the global off, they'll be able to come back and secure a global for whatever team fight could break out. But look over the meantime, DK Phobos here, going to be the Vlad's holder for his team on the Tusk. You don't see that very often, but it's going to be more the utility carry here. Does have Blink Dagger and everything on hand, and it certainly adds a lot for, you know, his Bloodseeker, who does have now Scotty complete, and he is pretty damn swole, still only second in net worth to Sumail. I know you're praising a lot as far as how Sumail's farm is, and I can't help it, but he's at 18K almost, nearly 4K above the next closest Bloodseeker.
Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous. Treant Protector spots out Sumail. Oh, yeah, I was going to talk about the Vlads on Tusk. I think the Vlads is pretty smart because his team is very weak to armor in a lot of cases. Plus, you got Riptide on top of that. Like, there's so many minus armor sources on EG right now that you need armor on your supports and on your other heroes. Ghost Scepters do some work, but eventually Ghost Scepters run out, and then it's going to hit you just as hard. So by having the Vlads, everybody's got an extra 5 armor, 3 more than what a Basilius would give you, and that will help Sumail do a little bit less damage.
Illidan, oh, he is very close to his Sheepstick. The Mystic Staff is already done, and he just about has enough for a recipe, or at least a Void Stone here. He's going to get it within this creep wave here. And Virtus Pro might look to put that to use right away. Top lane, though, Sumail inching out in front with PPD behind Lil and Viz. They have a sentry, though, right there. Oh! Sumail's instant reaction is to blink away. Does not know who could be behind the Shadow Shaman. And I agree. Just like, oh my God, there's someone Invis there. Let's get the hell out.
If you look at the position of VP right now, none of them were on the map at all. And all of a sudden you see an Invis Shadow Shaman, that is good reason to get the heck out.
Yeah.
Because if that Hex comes out, that could be you dying and your Dazzle as well. So picks up a BKB now. He's really farmed. Hookshot coming in bot.
Yep. Follow up with again that Sonic Wave combo from Fear. Living Armor trying to keep G alive, but he is not going to be able to make it away. Universe keeps him planted strong with the help of that battery assault. And G does go down. A good pick on this Bloodseeker. And with that, it looks like they probably consider following it up onto this Tier 2 push. G out for a full minute without a buyback.
2.4k gold on the Naga Siren now, and it looks like they're giving him farm. Fear choosing not to get that, so it does look like he's going to transition into the Radiance build. And when that happens, they get more sources of damage. That's going to break the living armor every single second. That's going to give evasion or a mischance to Tusk. He just might miss a Walrus Punch at a critical time. It's also going to give mischance to Silencer, somebody whose main damage source is simply by right-clicking. So when that Radiance gets up, it creates pressure from a 4 position. And then the game gets so much harder because he's got like 5 item slots that are just ready to eat up items, you know? Like, it gets so scary at this point. He's only 800 gold away right now. His team is just helping him farm. They're getting everything low. They're stacking camps. Look at this. Universe stacking a camp. Rocket as well. And now he's going to get up to 6 camps in the jungle here.
And his farm is only going to get accelerated that much faster once he gets the Radiance done. And then the clock starts really ticking here for Virtus Pro. And are they going to have an answer for this core farm Naga on the other side? They're out and on the move. They're all getting a little piece of this FNG Nature's Guise as they scavenge their own jungle front, but there's not going to be any Evil Geniuses there. It feels like Evil Geniuses are not worried about pushing ahead and trying to take towers and end this game anytime soon. The longer this game goes, it seems like that they're going to put themselves in a more comfortable position, and they're happy to just kind of stall things out.
It's a really cool way to play Naga that most players just simply don't do, but he's completely fine with his current items. He's actually, I'm sorry, gem purchased by PPD. I was like, oh, he stopped the relic to get the gem. But no, it was Earthshaker instead. Sumail spotting out Lil again. He blinks away. Didn't realize that time that he was about to die, but and Fear as well creating space. Like his whole team, you're totally right. His whole team is just totally fine. Going passive, getting the relic. That is their next win condition that basically makes VP almost impossible to leave their base. It's going to be really tough for them to deal with that with the heroes they have.
If one little Fear can draw pretty much the whole VP squad up to the top lane, then they're in a good spot. Yeah. And that will just leave the rest of the map for the rest of EG to farm up between both Sumail and Aoi. There's not going to be much of an answer soon. Look at freaking Sumail, man. He's got nearly 5K gold.
What does he get next? He could go Butterfly. That would make him really survivable against Bloodseeker. Daedalus, if he wants to just start one-shotting, truly one-shotting supports.
Yeah.
That would work. His attack speed's already so high.
Butterfly.
It's pretty incredible. Butterfly would be... Oh, he does buy Butterfly. Okay. That'll also make his illusions very good, because then they're going to start evading damage. Then he's got evasion plus the Radiance Burn, so they've got to worry about mischance. They got to worry about evasion. This is just looking like EG is about to play with VP and do whatever the heck they want.
Yeah. It's slowly feeling like there will be a Respect Naga ban in the next game if things progress this way. Virtus Pro, it's on them to potentially dig deep. I like this response potentially from G to help with what we were talking about before with the Vlads on Tusk and the need to build up some armor for yourself and for your team. Looks like he's going to be going for the AC build.
Yeah, completely the right item to build in my opinion. The only downside to his build is that it's not very plus damage heavy, but he'll be getting that just from the sake of people being low. And if people don't get low, his build is going to be very weak on damage. But if they do get low, he's got all this attack speed and all these stats, and he'll eventually have an AC. He could definitely cut through some of these heroes very fast, especially like Queen of Pain, who's slowly working into a BKB. No Shivas, no AC in sight. Even TA is potentially killable, though she has pretty high armor. Clockwork's actually really armor stacked, but might see fight mid.
We'll see
Looking
here.
for the hook.
There's smoke turning the corner here.
Oh, they don't want him.
Yeah, Universe instead, they're beelining it straight up north. Maybe trying to catch any from Virtus Pro farming or falling back. Virtus Pro actually doing their own smoke movement here, Purge. It's the exact opposite. They're going to head through the EG jungle front, not find anyone here. And EG are just working at the top lane. They're going to allow Sumail to push this tower and simply wait to see if anyone from the side of Virtus Pro are going to respond. Or Virtus Pro are just going to go down mid lane and try to go for a trade themselves.
Maybe they're going to wait for EG to go back. Because I don't think that EG really needs to go high ground here. AUI's got his Radiance in the base. He just needs to head back and pick that up. I feel like VP is going to try to wait to see if they show up and then go for the swing. But they haven't, so they said, oh, they're all mid? All right, we're going high ground. Let's do it. Force them to TP back so we don't have to.
So do Virtus Pro. Yeah, they drop the wards. They're not going to have the wards for this defense here. They rotate in.
Oh.
Universe gets the first jump, and
Wow.
they get the immediate first kill on the FNG. First on the scene, first dead. Now they look to Illidan, who is able to get the global off, but he dies so freaking fast. Look at these guys. Hit him. G runs back. He's eating a lot of punishment. Fear not looking to make it back to safety. Rocket helps out, and they get him down. Double kill for Fear, and their tier 3 quickly crumbles thereafter, Purge, and that's all it takes, man.
They don't even want to deal with the Radiance. They're like, oh my god, he's got Relic. He picks up the Radiance. You guys just cleave through our cores. The Silencer could not deal with the late game TA, but in lane, what a one-sided matchup. But he still got ridiculous last hits from jungling and catching up that way. They all the only solution was to aggressively ward all the jungle camps near mid lane, and that was the only way to keep Sumail down. But he did not get down there. He deserves those fantasy points, man. What a performance from him. How could you not get tilted in that 1v1 matchup and then transition to late game? But really seemed like Bloodseeker just didn't do enough here. He can't just be a passive farm hero.
Yeah.
He needs to snowball from getting kills and stuff. And I feel like the synergy from EG's draft from VP's draft was maybe just not there. And the Shadow Shaman doesn't even have items. What an idiot, right?
Freaking Lil. Again, Lil, if you don't know, everyone, he loves to remove all of his items and make sure he hides under the dark, whatever strategy. I don't know what it is, but Lil likes to throw everything out. He's like, these items didn't work. Get rid of them. Throws them all away. But, yeah, what a hell of a showing. Virtus Pro, they did things a bit more passive. Maybe they felt comfortable with Illidan and his dominant mid lane performance at the time. And then once Bloodseeker got a good head start, he went to his farm. But EG just as happy to make some farm themselves. They know Owie is one of the best farmers with a hero like that, and they're happy to take it as long as possible, but it wasn't even very necessary. The first time they move into the Virtus Pro base, it sends the Tau thrown in right away from Virtus Pro. So with that said, that's going to conclude game number 1, but this is, of course, a best-of-2 series. We'll see if in the next matchup, if Evil Geniuses will be able to close this series out 2-0 and take a 3-point advantage, or if they will split this series 1-1 and 1 point apiece. We'll find out in just a few moments. I'm Coddle Guy. That's Purge. We'll see you very soon for game 2 of Evil Geniuses going against Virtus Pro. in game number 1. EG looking damn good. And this came, of course, at the start of Illidan, that mid lane silencer, punishing Sumail. Sumail still found a way to just collect all the farm necessary. Aoi was starting to transition to be a powerhouse core on his Naga, just getting the Radiance as the game was concluded. But it's clear that Virtus Pro, they're going to have to shake that one off and kind of go back to the drawing board here for game number 2.
Yeah, definitely very tough. And he got Respect Bend in the first round. So Evil Geniuses going for the typical power cores right now, Gyrocopter and Leshrac Band. And also the SF Band from VP. A hero we've seen some games today, but has been getting banned a lot in the first round. That's just due to his really high farm rate. He's very strong in the mid lane. He can punish a lot of matchups, and it's the whole physical damage minus armor thing that synergizes with so many strats. So just a safe ban there as a whole.
I'm going to reach in my meta mind, and I'm going to say Tusk and Earthshaker. What would you say?
I think Earthshaker is very likely here. I know Universe has a very, very good Tusk. I'm going to cheat a little bit and look at the board for any heroes that I might be forgetting. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not really sure about the second. I really don't know. There's a lot of options. Like, they could pick Clock, but Clock isn't very good against Queen of Pain. So it really comes down to strategies, you know? I don't think it'll be about the counter pick. So we got the Lina strat coming. We're going to see what we saw earlier, perhaps. The Clinks, Lina, Bloodstone, into
Skyrath
BKB.
Mage.
Skyrath
Ancient
Mage.
Seal, Amplification. Yeah, it's feasible. Lina, though, picked up first.
Lina ES,
Very
perhaps.
flexible to start. Yeah, ES could still be here, or the Tusk. ES is going to be the choice. Leaves the Tusk still out there if Virtus Pro want to get it.
So we were both right. I said Earthshaker plus whatever strat they're going with. And you said Earthshaker plus Tusk, which was more wrong than what I said.
And 2 halves make 1 whole. You're a half, I'm a half.
So
perfect.
I think we both perfectly analyzed this game. We can stop now.
Yep.
Might as well leave.
Let's see Virtus Pro if they want to take advantage of still the top platinum options that are out there on the board right now. If they want to go back for the DK Phobos Tusk. Didn't do him a whole lot in the last game, so
yeah,
you got to wonder if they're like, this could still be a good Tusk game, but are we...
He got a lot out of his lane, but it didn't... Their heroes just didn't scale into the late as well versus what they're up against. Like the TA late, great versus Bloodseeker, great versus Silencer. Like, what does a Tusk do to make that hurt less, you know? Like, once TA pops BKB, Tusk is worthless, basically. And she's got decent ranged attack. It's, like, okay. And she's pretty fast because of Manta Style, and she's a Blink. Even your Ice Shard, or whatever the heck it's called, Frozen Sigil, is going to die. So that Vici Gaming logo that every team uses. I'm always like, oh, is this Vici Gaming? Nope, they're just using the Sigil.
Probably the best item a team has put into the game.
For branding, yeah, easily.
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt. It's not even close. Literally every team uses it. I'm like, if I was on a pro team, wouldn't you just unequip that one and be like, you know, I'm going to stick with the regular
What would be, you know what would be better is if they got hats for Wisp and each of the balls were like a team logo that flew around. I mean, that would be the only thing I can imagine
Virtus
that could
Pro, it's like a bear. Just a little bear logo. It just looks completely
bunch of EGs turning around and
EG
flying
could
out.
also make a Frozen Sigil, I swear. It looks very similar shape.
It works as long as Tusk is relevant. When Tusk is not relevant, people are never going to see it. But
so,
Dazzle
to pick.
All right, so they get their defensive support. Maybe they're just kind of holding one of those extra picks in reserve. Like, you never know. Like, right now they could wait out, and with their 2 next picks, they could try to do something like the Bloodseeker Zeus 1-2 punch maybe for one of these teams. You never really know.
That's really true, actually. Something that we saw a lot of Bloodseeker being picked first round, but I think, again, it's been shown that it is counterable, and it's only so good. It comes down to getting a lot of rupture kills, something that happens all the time in pubs, but in high-level games, it's so much harder for that. Like, people will TP support for each other, they'll move as 3, and at that point, it's very dangerous to roam around and gank as a BS. So,
are they going to ban the Disruptor here? If they did, it'd be every game. If they don't ban it and Virtus Pro pick it up, I will probably have a chuckle.
It's good versus core Lina until she gets BKB, and then it's a big issue. They're already they have the defensive support out of Dazzle, so I think it could be a Disruptor could fit into VP's strategy here. I wouldn't say it's amazing against Earthshaker, because he's usually far, far away without a Blink Dagger, but he's got that fissure ready.
Yes, he certainly does. That's why I like something like a Zeus would help in case Earthshaker is trying to wait in the wings and be a presence, would check it out. Oh,
Okay,
Bounty Hunter. Completely forgot about him as one of those top first pick options.
Yeah, we have seen him get banned first round some games, but didn't get banned this time. Would have been good at pressuring Lena. Lena is very weak versus Quap. If it's a Quap and a Bounty, you can't stun both of them, and they're slowing you in 2 different ways, and that is very vulnerable. So I think it's a lot safer to go for that than to have to deal. Like, they'd much rather deal with a Disruptor than a potential Disruptor than a Lena. So into the second round, EG gets the first pick, and last game they did this strat, at least as so far. They did Sanking offlane. That was their last pick. They had a Clinks, which could still be their second pick of this second phase, because I doubt VP will play it. Very few other teams are playing that. And the last hero was a Skywrath Mage. So could be Sky, could be Clinks, could be Sanking. That was their previous draft. I think it worked out fantastic. Maybe they don't want as much burst damage this game because there's a Dazzle. Maybe not the best hero. Maybe something like Axe or Ancient Apparition might be better. It's still pretty synergistic, because then you got Ice Vortex rather than the Skywrath Mage. The only downside is much. It's actually a kind of a weak dual support. Obviously, Earthshaker or AA can roam well together, but you can't just like say, oh, AUI, take AA and go around getting solo kills. Very, very difficult to do that compared to Sky. And can't zone as well either.
Oh, I was going to say, you could always grab the Tusk for Universe there. Does get snagged up.
A lot better as a solo hero, especially. And they can still do what they did last game, which was Fissure block the first creep wave, guarantee him a fast level 2, and then he could just be like, oh, I'm going to go Gankman now.
He's Radiant side. You can block the lane yourself, too, technically, with Ice Shards.
Oh, with Ice Shards. Okay.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Same way as like Clockwork does with his cogs.
Do you do it at the first opening, like close to the tier 2?
I can't remember. It was in BTS Americas the first time I saw it. It was in like one of the first rounds. And who I was with at the time, I think it was Fluff I was casting with. And yeah, he went right for it. It was so funny because the other team was also onto it. Jubei was actually playing on the other team, a Bounty Hunter, and he tried to go over there and chop down the tree ahead of time so he couldn't trap the creeps in there. But I guess it's so good that even with the tree chopped, he still found a way to use the Ice Shards effectively and block a lot of the creeps from getting into the lane. So technically, Tusk can do it himself if they want to reserve the Fissure, let's say, or he could just save the point for something else or save the Ice Shards, theory crafting and such. So he has a lot of options and good versatility still as that offlaner. But it has been done, and it can be done. And I know it was on Radiant side, but back to Virtus Pro's side of things here. They already have claimed the Queen of Pain and the Dazzle. We'll see what they look to take advantage of here.
It's a really slow draft, actually, for the day so far. And of the games that I've casted, at least, we saw 2 1-1s. And this is going to determine whether or not EG can slam out to a commanding 4-point victory, that is. Because the VP as well as Newbie both made 1 point from their 1-1s.
That's correct.
This is VP's second set. Wait, did Newbie play 2 sets so far?
VP have only played the 1 set, I believe.
I thought we casted 2 VP sets. We casted 2 newbies.
Yes,
Newbie went 1-1 versus EG.
We casted VP Newbie, and then Newbie EG, and now EG Newbie.
Yeah,
or EG VP.
So EG went 1-1.
Yes.
VP got 1 point.
Yep.
And Newbie got 1 point. So if EG wins this in a 2-0, that would put Newbie at 2 points.
Correct.
VP at 1 point and EG at 4 points for our sets of the day. So that would be really good for EG. I know a lot of teams have been having trouble going 2-0. Obviously, that's the other side of the bracket, but even Secret going only 1 point versus the 3 points for their set versus Fnatic. Very surprising for them. They do go for the Sky again, so it looks to be the same strat they used earlier. Unsure whether or not Virtus Pro had somebody scouting those games out. I assume they had somebody on it being like, oh, you're going to play EG later. Let's at least see what their strats are going to be like, and you can give us a rundown. If they were paying attention, I dare say they wouldn't have banned PL maybe, but is the Clinks the critical part of this draft? I don't think so, but it's definitely nice.
Lots of synergy also between the Skywrath Mage and the Tusk. I know Root Gaming pulled out a lineup where they had the Tusk with the Blink Dagger, Blink in, Walrus Punch, immediate Mystic Flare, and they get hit so quick and so hard that they're not even able to get off the BKB half the time. They just get blown the hell up. So it's a beautiful 1-2 punch. Between that, you got the Earthshaker Fissure, and of course, Lena. Skywrath Mage is going to just have a wonderful time amplifying everything for his team and getting a good setup for his Mystic Flare. Virtus Pro, they had responded earlier with a Rubik and now the Lycan. Not really surprised to see the Rubik. It's a Virtus Pro standard. It's their most picked hero. They have a 19-9 record with it here in 6.84. And they have a lot of flexibility with the hero. They frequently do trade this hero between both Lil and FNG, so you can't really tell. I believe FNG plays it just a touch more, but you know, it's really hard to say where they put priority in the farm. Right now they have the Dazzle, so it's looking like it's going to be a Lil hero. But the Lycan pickup, Purge, is this the first one of TI?
It's the first one I've seen. I haven't been watching every single game, but we've been watching quite a few in the lunch area, and I have not seen a Lycan yet. So let's see how it matches up against what happened the previous game. It was a lot of burst damage, and it came out very fast. But I would say Lycan's pretty good against Lina, can chase her down, has some movement speed advantage over her as he uses his ultimate, and she may have to pick up an earlier armor item. Perhaps she'll delay the BKB and instead opt for something like a faster Shiva's, possibly. But Ember Spirit makes this kind of tough, and I guess it's going to be Ember Spirit in the safe lane rather than a Clinkz. Clink's pretty bad versus Lycan, I would say, because he just runs away, and he can also chase him down.
And he gets Necro Book and finds Clinkz easy. And
yeah, and
over him.
I don't know if I would say that Clinkz was amazing against Quap either. It's still a little bit of a not the best hero matchup. So Ember Spirit versus Lycan is great. You can stop him for 3 seconds. Ember Spirit versus Quap, great as well. And the Brood.
Okay. So this is obviously not the first Brood of the tournament. This will be the first Brood that I know that we have personally going to be able to cast here. It is a Brood into an Ember Spirit, so it can be a bit finicky around that front, but it feels like this Brood's picked up to be more of like that lane dominator, be a distraction, and some serious sieging power coming out already from Virtus Pro. Lycan and Brood, these are two fantastic split pushers. They're able to just draw attention to other lanes and create the space necessary, and they have two of the biggest powerhouses on doing so. Evil Geniuses are going to really have to be at the right place at the right time here. This is going to put a lot of pressure on them to make sure that they coordinate appropriately and go to where they need to be, whether it's taking care of the Brood who's split pushing on the bottom or addressing this Lycan. They better make sure they move as a fine unit and don't risk losing too much trying to go for big rewards.
Especially because in the previous games, we saw PPD do a lot of roaming mid and stacking. And he might not be able to do that instead, because if Ember has a bit of a tough time in the early game and he gets behind, then you're going to be put in a really terrible position. So they have to make sure that this Brood doesn't get out of control, because if he does, it's going to limit the supports of being able to protect Sumail, and that might really limit Sumail's ability to do well. If it goes anything like last game, that's not going to happen. Sumail's going to be fine, even if he gets in a terrible 1v1 matchup, but he's got the Quaplina this game, and I think he can handle that no problem.
Got to give, of course, a small shout-out. Aoi sporting the Skywrath set, apparently dedicated to him from his teammate Sumail, and dedication Noob Sky.
Yes, Noob Sky and everyone. I believe Universe had a set as well from Sumail that had some more comments.
Let me see here.
This one is looking... It's not from Sumail.
Pirate's Life for you. Okay.
The one he gave to Sumail or to Universe for his clock set was like, noob clock, can't land a hook, and he put like one word in every single item. Nice guy.
What a guy. Well, we'll see if the team can make it work through this go-around here in their matchup against Virtus Pro. It's game number 2 of this best-of-2 series. This is going to be myself and Purge's last game to cast today on the agenda. And it might be the final heat today as well. And we'll round out group stage action before we come back for more of it tomorrow. And EG hoping to finish out today with 4 points. Virtus Pro will only get up to at most 2 points today with their earlier split between Newbie. So heavy emphasis to make sure you're not shoved to the bottom part of the group. We'll have to see how it goes, though. Let's see how the lanes do get assessed here, Purge. For now, Aoi going to be going hand-in-hand with Fear in the safe lane, as expected. Phobos is already there. Does that mean Aoi has some wards? He certainly does. 2 sentries. Doesn't need to use any of them to help out with the block camps, but you're going against a Brood. You shouldn't be pulling too much anyways. And then the Lina Quap Classic matchup in this mid lane, Purge.
Bit of a weird starting item build for the Broodmother, actually. Oh, we have Dazzle in the area. Might be doing some damage. AUI's got to be careful. Takes the nuke. Great disable from Fear. Is going to buy him a second, and that could have been really disastrous otherwise. But he's just rushing the slow ring, and very surprisingly seen a support Dazzle helping to pressure. We almost never see this dual lane with a Broodmother. Usually he's just left to his own devices, but
this dual lane, Purge,
it's
is
good.
A Dazzle Brood. That's Heal Bomb City with those little Broodlings.
Yeah, it's actually something that's been done a few years ago, but I haven't seen it personally any time recently. So once he gets the spiders, it's similar to the whole Dazzle with Naga Siren thing. You can get some serious physical damage, and Dazzle is actually one of the best supports versus a laning Ember Spirit in a safe lane, because every time it comes up for a last hit, you have the chance of healing the creep, which does damage to the Ember Spirit, which forces him to miss the last hit. So this is pretty tough. But PPD immediately recognizing a dual lane, therefore he shifts over to make it extra dangerous for them to be here.
Yeah, I mean, it's just more him being there as a presence in case they think about maybe moving out on something. He can dish out a quick fissure, and things could be turned around. And, of course, that does mean that Sumail not going to get the assistance from PPD in this mid lane in his matchup against G. G for now 4-1 to Sumail 7-2. The young gun, man, he is off to a solid start within the first couple of waves. We check out the top lane here. Universe looking to contest the pull through, chops it right in, says, nope, I'm taking some of that back. And I've already blocked out the camp. He's going to take this little potato. Oh, can he get it to the creep wave? He can't. Was hoping for the pull there, but it's not happening.
So a bit rough for him. Ooh. First blood on the mid lane.
Unexpected mid-lane takedown from G. Just after I was praising Sumail, it's G who's going to get that one edge. Takes him down. Oh, very surprising. Good catch for him. And, of course, because PPD is hanging around this bottom lane, he's not nearby that mid lane to dish out the fissure. That could have saved his life.
Yeah, and if he does get out of position like that, it's always easier for Queen of Pain to chase and go after. On the bright side, because he did die, he's now got an entirely full mana pool, which means that he can abuse G a little bit harder in these first moments after him coming back. And since their levels are actually still pretty equal because of this, I think it's not the worst thing in the world ever for Sumail to die like that, because he's just gotten 2 Dragon Slaves offensively. G's got 2 bottles ready to go, and he's going to have to start bottle crowing, regardless of the fact that he got the first blood.
Yeah. We'll see. For now, he holds. Sumail does get off a little bit of punish onto him, but he gets his bottle, refreshes up, gets right back into lane action here. Lil continues his little pull through here and helps to keep the Universe down a bit. But, hey, the creep wave is in a beautiful spot for Universe, right under his tower. He's going to get some free and easy XP and just has to kind of tussle with Illidan as far as how the CS goes. For Illidan, no surprise, early Bassy pickup, probably going to be going for the Vlads. Could see a book there straight after. Sneaking into the Roche, I imagine, is on the agenda. Your standard lycanthrope things. Unless maybe Virtus Pro have something cheeky in mind for a special TI.
It's possible, but I doubt the Lycan build has changed much. It's just the Necro 3 benefits so much from the Feral Impulse, increases their attack speed as well as their attack damage. Not to mention when you use your Shapeshift ability, it makes all your minions run max speed, so that build is very unlikely to change. They might be lacking some good way to disable the Ember Spirit. I feel like we're almost for sure going to have to see an Orchid out of Queen of Pain, since it's one of the best counters against Ember Spirit.
Yeah.
But they had issues with that earlier today as well, so maybe that won't be the solution either. It's going to be a bit of a tough game. I feel like the VP draft is very push heavy basically with some gank. So if they get ahead, I feel like they can definitely close out the game. But if they don't get ahead and EG is able to delay this, I think their synergy is really going to come together.
FNG in a bit of an awkward position here. Now, Owie's going to remove of their little sentry ward, and they plant their own here, which makes things a bit uncomfortable for Phobos as the lane will push back out. I figured maybe FNG would be able to depart once this Brood did get level 3 and a Soul Ring. He can kind of do his own thing, eventually move into the EG jungle.
Ooh, will they go on Fear here?
But
here comes the heal bomb.
Yep, they get a big catch. Not a lot of damage, though. Not enough Broods surrounding, apparently. And it's just going to end up chunking him down to about half life. That Flame Guard able to shrug off a lot of the damage, and he's going to be okay.
It bounced, basically. I think the heal wave bounced to the creep wave next to it instead. So it only did maybe 1 source, maybe 2 sources of Shadow Wave damage instead of up to 4. That easily could have dropped him to half HP if there's nobody around. So they can definitely still continue to poke this. They're moving back in, looking for the heal. Heal's going to miss this time, but the Spider's on top of Fear. Fear's in trouble. Flame Guard in 6. They're going for the dive. There's the nuke. He's down very low, 100. Are hitting him, and he is definitely dead. Oh,
no,
Flame Guard.
He's not. No, he is not. He got the chains off in a new Flame Guard, and he's like, I gotta go, but G shows up out of the wild
suicide?
blue.
Oh, it worked.
He gets denied from the Ogres. Are you kidding me? But action still goes here. Bottom lane, Universe even shows up. Phobos way behind. Plops his own ward down. G's also getting involved. It's getting hot and heavy down here.
Really good escape there. The reason that worked out like it did is the spiders can stack infinitely on one point of contact until they take damage, and then they spread evenly, because otherwise it would be too hard to target them. So as soon as he turned on his flame guard, the spiders spread, and they can't just all attack at the same time and do massive damage. So as soon as his flame guard came off, they spread, and then the Scream of Pain didn't kill him because the flame guard then blocked the magic damage. Great suicide coming out of Fear.
This is an awkward spot for Phobos. Aoi chases him back, and he had that sentry. He plops it down now. Phobos shows himself in lane. Still goes right back into the trees. But Universe has been drawn to this bottom lane for quite a while now. Has left top totally open and exposed for Illidan, who's just chunking down this tier 1 tower. Should be able to get it relatively easy. PPD's trying to get there to try to be a help, but it's very apparent that for both teams, they're putting a lot of attention towards this bottom lane. G is still here on his Queen of Pain. He has a new Sonic Wave now. Shows up, moves it, and gets a brief poke onto Fear. Now Phobos comes in. The chains only connecting on the little broodlings. There's the Sonic Wave, and it's going to get the catch. And now they look to retreat, but here comes Universe. Snowballs on 4. The Grave preemptively put out from FNG. He's trying to get rid of the frickin' little Sigil, but can't get it. Instead, does what damage he can onto Sumail. Ultimately accepts his fate, will go down. Universe picks that one up. But look at this. Phobos moves into Sumail. Sumail with a quick Laguna will end up going down. Phobos probably hands over his own life.
Oh, G might die as well.
Oh, they look back for G. G gets a blink off as the snowball does come in. He gets into the safety zone. Universe still on pursuit. Gets a good Ice Shards block. But G's able to turn the corner and make it away. Oh, when the dust does settle, looks like it ends up being a 2-for-2 trade. But that's 2 cores from the side of EG.
Yeah, they're just letting Fear get pressured too much. He just keeps dying here. He didn't have his level 6. He's got it now, so he's fairly survivable. I think they did a great job basically pressuring in there. He doesn't even have boots, actually. So no boots, got some regens, got a stout shield, but it's only going to do so much when you're diving in with 3 heroes. So EG is going to be able to stabilize a bit there at least, but it's looking a little bit bad for them. PPD is also a little under-leveled, hasn't been able to hit level 3 just yet, and the top lane has been pushing in response to almost everybody being bought by the Broods. Their strat's been working out really nice. Guaranteed the Brood does well by having Dazzle there. In the meantime, they're going to abandon the off lane, and Lycan can just do whatever the heck he wants. Get his fast Vlads. He's got 50 CS at 8 minutes, and his Vlads will be finished soon, and from there, insane jungling and more tower pushing than a Bloodseeker ever could. So,
I mean,
yeah.
The way the map is spread right now is the way we could see the majority of this game. DK Phobos planting strong on the bottom, split pushing, and then, you know, Illidan doing work on the top up until he's ready to, you know, maybe venture out, do your Roshan, other objectives. It's forcing EG to commit to one side or the other, and even on where they commit, they're not necessarily coming out on top. They're trading even, which might be to the benefit of, you know, Virtus Pro at this point, if they're able to just get more of the objectives and more stuff done on the side. And they're not even committing their full 5-man group, so seems like they're in a very nice spot now. Look at these stacks that have been built up from Lil. G goes back and is going to start bursting it down.
That's some good farm. He's got 3 kills to his name on Quap. He's actually got very, very low CS, very uncharacteristic for G, but because they focus so much on the bot lane, they did hurt Fear's gold gain by a huge amount, and now he's able to catch up a bit with those neutral stacks. But he had 28 CS at the almost 9-minute mark, super low for Queen of Pain, especially a player of G's ability. And because of that, Sumail pretty much just had free farm in the mid lane, despite 2 deaths on him. He's got 50 CS already in 9 minutes, and now he gets his neutral stacks. So all the low experience that PPD had for the whole game is starting to pay off and translate to his carry or his mid getting that gold.
The selfless one, PPD, man.
It really is.
We'll have to see. For now, hangs out around mid lane, and for whoever lacking farm he gets support, hands it over to his comrade Aoi as well, trying to get that level 6, that Mystic Flare. I already talked about a bit of the combo action they had on the side of EG. They want to put that to use as soon as possible. You know, when they know Virtus Pro are usually not going to be rolling as a 5-man squad, they want to bring all they can to these fights so that they could take advantage of what they got in numbers. Ain't going to be easy, though. And now Virtus Pro taking up the majority of this bottom lane now, scouting to see if they can catch any EG members farming on the other side. Look at this deep ward Lil's going to put down.
I like what the Wolves did, too. They blocked 2 camps here. Moved all the way over, tapped the lane. Oh, dive going on bot.
Oh, they're committing on behind the tower here. Snowball flies out. They're trying to draw him as far from the tower as possible. He's going to need some help. Yeah, he just tries to muscle his way, breaking down the trees, but a stolen shards is going to be the kill right there. Coming out from Lil. Universe goes down. Virtus Pro, man, almost suffocating Evil Geniuses. Look at this. Oh, Illidan might be caught out. Whoa! He goes down there at the end. Aoi catches him with a nice little concussive shot. No running from that one, regardless of how fast. Now it's Sumail. A Sonic Wave for him is going to take him out.
No mana for...
G is committed. These dragons hate him.
Good self.
And the salvo will help out from this little arcane bolt. He makes it away. Owie's still in pursuit, though. Look at him go.
Yeah, he's got the blink.
Oh, he tried to get the concussive shot off, but the blink was already there. Ends up being a 1-for-1 trade. A Corlina for Illidan.
Not bad. That's pretty good for EG, I think. Considering how pressured they are, getting trades like that are going to be really good for them. Any gold advantage that your opponents have over you is going to give you some slight comeback potential. Believe it or not, it does still exist in the game. It's just in a very balanced rate at the current moment. Because people don't complain about it, right? So I think it's in a good spot, honestly. So
And the XP is still very much there, too.
I believe so, yeah. I haven't ran the math compared to last patch, but it seems like it's in a good spot.
G gets hit with a fissure. LSA not going to be enough to connect, so he's able to blink away from the trouble.
That's a hard gank.
Bottle trade-off here.
He didn't even have Laguna Blade anyways. Very low chance. A bit of a smoke going from EG. They're shifting to the bot lane. I guess they're going to go for the Brood. One good way to do the smoke. Run in front, drop the dust as soon as it goes away. And then, oh, they actually break on the Dazzle, who's actually just standing in the jungle. Does he realize?
No, and they don't pop
He's
the
gotta be
dust, which is
confused.
good. They
He's
drop
so
a new
confused.
sentry. They're like, what the hell's happening here? But what they didn't know is FNG's waiting behind that camp. He heads out. PPD was en route, but it's too late. He's already gone. And this could be an EG smoke gate leading to nothing. DK Phobos is just going to plant himself in the tree line, occasionally popping out, trying to take some broodlings. Uh-oh, they move in. The second he does show himself, they got him. Fissure and a Mystic Flare. The first one of the game is going to take down DK Phobos. That pesky spider gets squashed, but I can't help but react. Now, we do have a bit of a pause here coming out from the side of EG, but when they do a committed dive on something like that, I'm sure Virtus Pro are doing something else elsewhere. Look at this. They got Roche, right?
Yeah.
Man, oh man.
That's Lycan's job, man. Go for the Roche. Kill it down. Rubik was there as well, just in case things got a little scary. Ice shards, he could actually just close Roche off, be like, nope, not coming in. Drop the ice down, finish off the Roche, throw somebody on a cliff, something like that would have been good. So committing to that and splitting some experience there. And that's the Aegis. So Lycan's going to be happy with that one.
Oh, yeah. So Phobos goes down, but really he's secretly laughing. Yeah, space created for the rest of my team. And they got their Aegis. And look at this. They just do a quick smoke back here. Not under any ward. They're going to look to invade. Oh, and they get a brief glimpse, and immediately Illidan goes into wolf form, and they are on the chase. And little Owie is going to get taken apart. Immediately annihilated. Now they look for PPD. He's able to get the Fissure off, but he is trapped in the shards, and he goes down. Quick two-man drop after the conclusion of taking down the Roche and grabbing the Aegis. Now Virtus Pro advance towards this tier 1 in the mid lane.
That was really nicely done by VP there. Grab the Aegis, back off, smoke, turn back around when your wards were still there, and look for the fight. And they got to go on the two squishiest heroes on EG and the ones that normally back up the rest of their team. Two fast kills. That's going to be a tower. Fissure comes. They grab Universe, throwing him back. Ulti as well. He gets so low. Will he snowball onto something? I'm not sure. He's going to get it dying.
Oh, man, Lil, what a player he is. He leads in that last skirmish with some good shards blocked. Then he steals PPD's Fissure, uses it there on to Universe, lifts him up thereafter, steals the shards, and kills him with the shards.
So he did lose Fissure to guarantee that kill by stealing ice shards, but it's still worth it for the kill, and they got the tier 1, and the pressure is on now. VP has the gold advantage. They have the pushing heroes. Lycan will really start building the major damage items next. G almost dying top, apparently, to Fear. And how's Fear doing? Treads, Wand, with a Ring of Health. Looks like it will be the Perseverance into Battle Fury build. Yep. Very, very good against Broodmother Spiders. Helps with the Lycan Wolves, all that stuff. But EG needs to delay for at least 20 minutes until they're ready to fight.
I don't think Virtus Pro are going to allow them to do so. Whenever they look to put out attention one of these different lanes, you could have DK Phobos creeping in here on the bottom. And if they address DK Phobos, you're going to have frickin' Illidan coming in from the northern side. He's already getting to this tier 2 tower. And there's not going to be much of a threat. Only Fear is here for now. The rest of EG are just waiting in hopes that DK Phobos shows himself. Now, he did there. They ping it out. Are they going to quick shards run in and pop a dust? Well, nope. They're not going to get the vision with that sentry. DK Phobos, in a very passive spot, way behind here. He's just happy to draw this attention to himself.
And this is going to be a naked Orchid for the Broodmother, which means he doesn't have any boots yet. Normally, this is a huge issue, but because he's in the spin webs, he's got an extra 70% move speed with 4 levels of web here. So he can get away with it, just rushing it as fast as possible. That way, if he does end up finding a solo Ember Spirit, he can try to get that kill. It's not going to work against Lina, though. She's already got her Yules picked up, and she's going to be using that to go look for kills right now.
Here comes Virtus Pro, though, smoked up.
Ooh, broke.
It's
And the creep
broken.
found him. He's in a lot of trouble here.
Oh.
He's going to have to grave TP, I think.
She gets caught with a fissure. He's got to go, or he might get imprisoned here. 2 seconds time, the shards will be up.
No, they're too worried to go in on that. They maybe could have snowballed in and done the full combo, but then they would have been way out of position, and whoever else was there for VP could have just turned in. Very likely just blown him up.
Looks like they want this tier 2, though. They're sending all the little broodlings in. They're getting the right-click damage out there.
Howl damage, too.
Yeah. They hit so freaking hard. They'll glyph for now, but it's not going to stop them. Oh, Smokeback comes out from EG. Now they move forward. A snowball, but it's only with Universe and Company.
Great
what
grave.
a grave. Helps out Lil from the Mystic Flare. He is going to get the Yules now. Should go down immediately thereafter. Is going to get dropped. Fear shows up,
misses
jumps
chains.
right in, but not going to get the chains connection. Doesn't matter for FNG. Goes down regardless.
Great
They end
fight.
up getting 2 themselves here on the bottom lane, plus the tower denied.
They did that so well. Man, I was like, oh, they're not defending very well. The tower's about to die, and bam, they slam right in. The Rubik was too far forward, and because of that punishment, he ends up getting killed. He's going to turn around. No, he's just going to farm. He's got Aegis. He's got a Necro 1. He's feeling pretty good about this right now. He doesn't have to worry too much about dying. When his ultimate runs out, then he's got to get out. But the 650 movement speed Lycan is going to be A-okay. Runs back to the jungle and onto the farming. So
yeah, good quick reaction from EG. They knew that the pressure was going to be coming because they were dealing with that bottom lane. Can't help but chuckle when I see a shapeshift Lycan get uppercutted like that. But back in
backflip
action here.
wolf.
Yeah, right? It just looks so awkward. But I like the build-up Fear has. A little different than we see for other Ember Spirits, you know, doing the power treads to get a bit of life instead of the drums.
and extra mana value when you're in the safe lane and don't have a bottle.
That's true. You can always tread swap as well if you need that extra little intel pulse of burst, but he's going right for the magical cleave and wants to be able to accelerate that farm. Helps deal with this split push quite a bit. You know, possible Wolf Army, Necro Book, DK Phobos and his Broodlings. Look at these freaking things.
That's gold right there.
Yeah, it's potential gold to be made from someone like Fear if he's able to crit them all down or just slice them apart.
Or Lina. Lina's in a pretty good place to kill Spiderlings as well.
Yes.
Still has to slightly worry about dying as more and more levels of the incapacitating bite get picked up by Brood to slow people. But as a whole, he's just going to continue the farming. 121 CS for him, top of the charts. And he went Arcane Boots next, so I'm going to assume he's going for the Bloodstone build again because you can eventually disassemble.
Yep.
Otherwise, why build it this late? Last game, he got the Soul Ring before getting the Arcanes, I believe. But
Yes.
opting for the Arcanes this time.
Now it looks like Virtus Pro are just going to kind of wait at attention here. We still got plenty of time before the new Roche is going to be up, but they're already taking measures as far as scouting out the area and making sure they get their own D ward and their own little intel. And then they decide to kind of step back and do their own thing. Good farm time, though, for Fear to finish out that Battle Fury here at the top. We look over the rest of the item progression, more so for some of these supports here. Looking to Owie, he's going to go for a very similar build from what we saw in the last time. Looks like he's going to go right for the mech first. And, well, for PPD, your Selfless one still hasn't gotten that late Soul Ring we like to see him grab. And then your 30-minute Blink Dagger typically.
Yeah, it eventually comes through as they win fights and win fights. And
Yeah.
for now, he's just aiming to do a fissure, and maybe if things get crazy in Echo Slam. And it's a great Echo Slam possibility because they've got spiders, they've got wolves. I mean, maybe he worries about dying in Echo 3, but you know the way Echo works is, found out from a Reddit video recently, it doesn't necessarily have to do with the AoE around Earthshaker. It's the Echo jumping from hero to creep to hero. I think they bounce maximum like 2 times or something like that.
Okay.
So it's actually a pretty big AoE, and if there's a lot of creeps, it can really do a ton of damage.
Yeah. Typically a solid pickup when you see those PLs pop out, but definitely could go to a lot of strong work here, specifically against that Broodmother. And even Lycan with this huge swarm of army, that could end up being a weapon
Ooh, they're
against them.
spotted from the Lycan Wolves. Sumail walking
stalking.
right into everybody.
Lift, pull back, silence, immediate Yules after.
He's got a haste.
But no, he's
Ooh.
just manhandled right there. They get the help from G and that Sonic Wave, and the rest of EG call out the sound of retreat. Owie's already gone. Fear pieces out. Virtus Pro get the one quick kill. Illidan in shapeshift. He is beelining it towards this tier 2. They want to get as much damage as possible, if not take it down outright.
And the Orchids are out to play. Orchid on Broodmother, Orchid on Queen of Pain as well. For now, they're going to give them a huge team fight advantage due to the silences. 20 minutes later, might not be quite the same when the BKBs come out. But for now, very, very strong and a very easy kill on Sumail. Fear's almost got his Battle Fury as well, missing about 800 gold. but the pressure continues. They only have one outer tower
Yeah.
remaining, and it's the tier 2. On the bright side, this means that Broodmother's viability becomes a little bit weaker because there aren't when you have less limbs to defend.
Yeah.
If you just got to defend your core, then it makes it a little bit easier. So they'll have that at least, and their farm rate has been quite good, so they're keeping up with that as well.
Virtus Pro, though, with this huge map control, are able to just take most of the farm. It leaves EG in this bit of starved, corralled position, I like to say, and it's like whatever limited farm they're able to get to, you have to prioritize that towards someone like Fear and Sumail, which leaves kind of everyone else with not much to be desired. And they kind of have to act as just kind of the backstaff in hopes that when someone like Sumail now takes this risk farming out this bottom lane, you're just hoping that maybe VP make a jump onto him and you can get a quick return pounce. But other than that, you're just hoping to claim your woods back, find little scraps of farm, because it's very, very limited here for EG. Unless they're able to take big fights and take the game back, it's going to continue to be like that. Virtus Pro now, Roche is up, they go right in, and I don't see any way EG are going to stop him from doing it.
And they got a Necro 3 now on Illidan here, so even more damage coming from his illusions. That gives them true sight as well. They can de-ward with this, and another Roche to them with an Aegis on G, actually. Doesn't have his BKB yet. Could very easily get bursted down, so smarter to have it on him rather than the guy that's really just a farming machine and can run max movement speed. So I like the choice here.
Yeah, and then you get kind of that awkward spot where you have to save Shapeshift for maybe the second life, but sometimes you need to use on that first life to get the most out of the fight. So Queen of Pain could definitely offer a lot, at least for now. Probably something they're going to look to give to Illidan later on, but they're already pressuring out this mid lane. EG taking measures. They go to what they think is the safest spot on the map, and it is right now the Virtus Pro Woods. So they'll farm up that area where it's not really warded, not really contested, and just get what they can. And then the second they come a knock-in at the high ground, they will have to pull back. But this looks like their last outer tower will go down uncontested.
And they did actually smoke to move up to here, so I think they were expecting VP to retreat potentially after the Aegis, but instead they said, no, we'll push a bit. And then upon seeing EG up there, they went for the tier 2 tower very easily. So they're going to have to go back now. Battle Fury's up on Ember Spirit. This is exactly what they need. They have the timing window here. Their towers are still up. They're about 80% right now. So they can defend this, definitely. VP's got to be very careful. They can't make a mistake like before because it's going to buy EG more time. And as the game goes super, super late, they'll eventually get outplayed here. Syrian Chain's missing on the Quap, and they're trying to zone back the Spiders as well.
They don't have the luxurious Blink Dagger yet on your Earthshaker, which would be a huge force for high ground defense. But you never know. With a nice little setup of Yules, a lead-in Fisher, he could always walk in there and do some devastating work. And while they continue to kind of eyeball the mid lane, DK Phobos continues to be a little pest on his little Broodling here in the bottom, poking at the high ground a bit, and he even's able to kind of sidestep and take away the closest farm available for EG in that little camp. So it's not looking like it's going to be an easy time for EG to find the farm available. If they have to smoke and head to the top of the map to find good farm, that's
they're
not good.
collapsing mid.
Here they go, converging from all fronts. Fear, they're going to lead in with the lift back. Does he have the
Oh
remnant
my
to get away to? Sleight of
God,
fist
that-
first.
Oh.
Out. Whoa. Call that man Houdini. How the hell did he get out of there?
So close to dying, and then just gone across half the map. I can just think about Fear. He's just straight face looking at his monitor, spamming the button like, please, please. And he made it.
That's just Virtus Pro saying, don't try to go out too far. We'll jump you.
If they had either of the Orchids there, he would have died there too. Like, they didn't have Quap in the area, and they didn't have Brood. Brood dies in the meantime, by the way, dying to Lina. So Sumail getting that kill. He's got to be awfully close to his Bloodstone. Yeah, he's about 20 gold away from that one, 80 gold. And he's ready to go with that.
Looks like just scouted out. Nice thing they have the tusks, so the little Sigil was able to kind of give him that scouting vision into the trees so they can see where exactly the Brood is, and they probably just caught him out and finished him off with a quick Laguna. So yeah, nicely done. And there's PPD's Soul Ring. It comes later
Right
than
on
most
time.
Earthshakers, but it's right on time for PPD.
I just can't believe that he can play a whole game with only a magic wand and an arcane boot on an ally, and that's all he needs for mana. It's incredible. Like, he must be so careful with this Fissure. He's like, oh, if I Fissure here, I'm not going to have mana for like 65 seconds. Should I do it? And yet he almost always, it always seems like he's still being valuable as
very
an Earthshaker.
relevant to all the fights and everything. Yeah, you're right.
That'd be very difficult to do. Gem is up on Skywrath Mage. It must have been purchased. No mech just yet for Sky. But he's having a great game. Despite them playing from behind all game, 3-1 and 2 on a support Sky is amazing.
Curious to see when Virtus Pro do decide to kind of press their advantage a bit here, Purge. They have that Aegis still in hand, and I imagine they would love to probably make a go, maybe even split push. If they try to add pressure on like the mid lane and continue to have Phobos do work on the bottom, they got to be able to break through in some sense and get some work in. But if they wait too long here, they're not going to have the advantage of that second life.
Yeah.
So we'll see how long they decide to wait. Maybe they're waiting out for that next big item here. Was something just purchased here? Oh, it's a BKB. It's probably the Illidan BKB they could be waiting for. Or a Queen of Pain. They
Kinda
both have low
top.
gold.
I don't think she'll die. Yeah, she gets out no problem.
Oh, yeah, she already has hers actually at a shiny new 10 seconds. It's the Illidan BKB. Now there's 2 hammers in this Golden Courier. So it looks like they're
One
just going
for
to wait,
DK.
itemize a bit, and then decide to push on in.
Yeah, Broodmother's only about 500 gold. Him dying before actually must have really set him back from his BKB because he really wants to have his BKB for the fight. But EG's in a pretty good spot here. The Bloodstone's finished on Sumail. If things get really bad, he can suicide. I think they're pretty happy with the position. They have that gem as well, so even if they do leave the base, they can scout out the wolves that are looking to set up vision advantage over them. And here comes that gold gain. Necro 3-man, 200 gold apiece. They miss it. It's out, and it dies to a tower.
Virtus Pro are hitting them from all fronts. They're going from bottom to mid, then they hit him up there at the top. Now back to bottom once more. Phobos as he inches in and out these little broodlings. That tier 3 has already been withered down to a half life just within that small window of time.
It's hard to defend from 3 waves, but they've got the right heroes for it.
Yeah.
Lina, Ember Spirit, great wave clear, and Lina, building more as a carry, tons of mana. She'll be able to easily handle this as the game continues.
And they no longer have the Aegis. Universe charging in once Phobos doesn't catch him with the shards and not going to be able to scout him out at this point. So he's able to kind of etch away. Didn't want to be met with the same fate as before. Looks like
Oh, they're going to find him. They're going to find him.
Oh, they see him now. Oh, I jinxed him. Sorry. Sorry, Phobos. Caster curse, but they do end up scouting him out. Quick uppercut, quick Laguna, and the spider has been squished.
So gem paying off really good now. And this is basically the point of the game where Brood usually does fall off. He actually hasn't really snowballed in his lane. 0-4 and 3 on the Brood. He's gotten lots of last hits at 145. But once you don't have the ability to take a tower and it becomes harder to pressure it, you're just put in a weird spot. And he has almost all of his nets positioned around the bot lane. And it's just a big lane of nets. He doesn't have them through the jungle, so he can't really safely farm the jungle. He's just in a really weird spot. He keeps being about 400 gold away from his Black King bar. He was playing safe there, but he got spotted.
Yeah, with all these wards just kind of being strung along the lane side, it becomes pretty obvious where he might be hiding if he's not able to have any in the woods. So by deduction, EG just kind of do their sweep across the whole bottom.
Check
Eventually,
everyone.
they catch him. Oh, a smoke move out here. And it's just going to be PPD and Universe hiding under the dark, maybe hoping to hide behind Fear.
Ooh, Shadowblade on Tusk, by the way. Interesting pickup. You can Shadowblade and then Walrus Punch. I don't know if you get bonus damage from the Shadowblade damage, but it definitely will add to your overall damage.
Yes.
So it's a good way to also initiate with a blink, and then Punch. Oh, here comes Punch up for G. Ulti as well. There's
Boom.
a stun. Exactly what you were talking about, man. Can't even pop the BKB.
No, it just happened so damn fast. I remember when Fluff drafted it for the Root Gaming lineup, that wasn't even the initial intention, but once they did it that one time, they did it like 4 times straight, and they're just like, this kind of works.
Yeah.
Then it happened so quick and so fast, you don't have the time to respond, and you see it right there as G hits the deck. He still has 10 seconds on that BKB, but there's not just a way to respond, and I agree, when you're able to kind of move out that far as EG, you can definitely get the jump onto him. Shadowblade can be risky, though, once the pressure comes to their front because there's a Necro 3 out there moving about, and you got to make sure you're not going to be spotted trying to be a bit too ballsy. And look at that. The response right away, FNG buys his own gem.
They have to, because they're losing the vision advantage here, and they're losing the farm advantage, and they need to take a Rax, but it's too difficult. And EG is slowly inching back their advantage that they have done every single game today, really, except for the one where it was completely one-sided. Every other game, they're like, we know how you're playing, we're going to outplay you, we're going to limit our deaths massively on our supports, despite us. I mean, they really should have died a lot more, but they've just been completely safe with their plays, and VP hasn't been able to punish them, really. So, it's been tough.
He's going to return back to base. He's able to snag up that mech. And again, the Bloodstone pickup here for Sumail. Now up to 9 charges. And
Ooh, he's going to X this game, it looks like.
he has the point booster for now.
I think this is smart. Good against the quad build BKB, and her HP is still a bit low since she doesn't have Ags yet. The Broodmother's got a BKB. He's only got 1270 HP.
Illidan has a BKB
Illidan
as well.
has a BKB. It really is the Ags game. It's cool to see the synergy that we saw earlier today, but there's so many good BKB targets that if you just kill them, you win. You still have to worry about Dazzle, though. That's the other problem. But he can one-shot this Dazzle as soon as he gets Eggs.
That's true. And I love the way they're able to get those quick bursts, because if Virtus Pro try to do their more split lineup, EG can quickly address one of the sides, get the quick kill with like a Walrus Punch Mystic Flare, and then double back and be ready to take a fight where they have their own advantage in numbers and still have something available and ready like that Laguna. And as the clock does continue to tick, Ember Spirit continues to get stronger and stronger, Purge, which means their high ground gets stronger and stronger, and eventually he's just going to be farming in this huge siege army that Virtus Pro has. But, oh man, Owie getting caught off in the mid lane.
So Blink Light Strike Array. So the instant cast time there, plus the silence from the Queen of Pain, very, very easy kill. He was able to mech himself, but obviously that's not going to make the difference. And this gives him a first chance of actually going high ground for first time in a while, that is.
Yeah. Sonic Wave also used. I don't know if that was mentioned or not, but that means it's down for over a minute now.
Yeah, very long.
2 minutes, so.
Oh, Curry got sniped.
Yeah, it gets quickly snagged up. We see the back end of it from Illidan as he charges in. He is going to get chained up. No Sumail committed Laguna yet, but Universe does move in.
Now.
Uppercut, turns the corner.
Big grave.
What a grave save from FNG. Not going to get caught with the Laguna finish there. And with that, we'll be able to quickly retreat out from trouble.
And VP pings out Roche. They scouted out with their Spiders. Spiders are going to die very fast to Roche, but they need at least the Lycan to be here. But he is so low from that fight that it's going to be a bit. Can EG get out and contest? That is the real question. They don't have any vision in the area, and they're just going to try to push out the rest of their lanes for now.
Relieve the pressure while they can.
They didn't lose the gem either when AUI died. It's on Tusk.
Oh, very nice. He's already on the hunt for Brood, potentially.
Yeah.
Not going to be there, though. It's Virtus Pro who are already in the Roche here. We'll see if EG decide to cut north and scout it out or not. One little Broodling, though, also going to help scout out and see if anyone's coming in. It looks like not. Another uncontested Roche here for Virtus Pro. A cheese one at that. Is it a cheese one? I guess not.
Yeah, that was the third.
It just got picked up so quick. G has it. All right.
32 minutes, 3 Roches have died. It's amazing. Might see PPD get caught here. So close to Blink Dagger. This is going to be really bad for him. 2,100 gold. They actually curve mid instead of south to the camp. That's really unfortunate. Lil here would have gotten his smoke broken, and he could have spotted. Oh my god, he stole Laguna Blade. He stole level 3 Laguna Blade.
Let me see this man right here. Oh my goodness.
That is so scary.
We'll see if they know. This is going to be sketchy here. Virtus Pro certainly have all the tools you could ask for as a team to make this kind of a push. Aegis in hand, a Laguna now stolen. But PPD gets that Blink Dagger purge. I don't think Virtus Pro know that. They could be welcomed by a crazy Echo.
Definitely
right on the front door of EG.
Still the Aegis on Lycan, obviously, since he just picked it up. But they got to be so careful of Lil. He's going to solo kill somebody here.
Oh, man.
FNG on the back. Just brown boots, gem, staff of wizardry. Almost nothing for survivability. He's even got a couple stat levels.
He's like, I'm just here to grave, baby. I'm just here to freaking grave.
The poverty grave, man. Nothing else.
It worked in that last little skirmish. He's like, I don't care. That's all I need. Level 4 grave. I'll pop out from the trees, get my save. If I die after, so be it.
Fear of split pushing top, I guess. He's cutting the midway. Very smart to do here. Because as he does this, it means they only have to defend more. Rubik kills Sky with Mage, though.
Oh, man, they move in so quick. They immediately get the quick kill, and now Illidan looking to go for the tower, start chucking it down. Fear does show up here, gets the chains, but BKB. Illidan shrugs it off with the BKB. They're looking to move in. PPD still nursing this Echo for the dream setup. Oh, briefly there was a 3-man setup there, but it's just not aligning. And with that, they're going to be losing 1 Rax, just the range Rax mid lane.
Not bad.
Melee still standing, makes it fair.
Considering the Laguna Blade that Lil had there, it was way more burst damage than they anticipated. So they get the kill. They can't really sustain nearly as well as previous builds. Well, now they can. They've got Ags on Queen of Pain. That was really what they were missing. They didn't have the ability to just throw that out for the guaranteed kill. It was more important to save it for potentially killing the cores. Oh, that was cool. illusion spawn. You suppose you didn't catch it. He was sleight of fisting, and he spawned the illusions. Or it was a Manta, sorry. That's cool. So while he's sleight of fisting and hopping from hero to hero, boom, 2 illusions pop out.
Nice.
That's cool.
I want to see him get a Dagon. Slide of fist, mini Dagon thereafter.
Sleight of fisting and Dagon. It's kind of cool, but so... Just buy that damage, man. Sleight of fisting, he's already slapping everybody for bonus. Why not go for it?
Oh, I was curious if Lil was going to try to utilize this Laguna one more time because it's such a low cooldown, and he actually still has it for a little while longer, but it looks like it will expire.
Unfortunately,
so he's going to have to head back. Won't have the luxury of that huge nuke, but does show a bit of a threat. Sumail can't carelessly leave that out there as an option here for the little Rubik. EG moving out from the safety of their home here, pressing on the bottom, and it looks like they'll then pull back. But it is pinged out here. It looks like Virtus Pro looking to maybe move in there.
FNG puts the ward down.
He's got to be careful here. He could be caught out in the wrong neighborhood. What is Fear doing?
Could be. Fear is doing the old cut the wave mid. He did this before. He stood here, waited for the creep wave spawn in 2 seconds, and then he goes, oh, fight happening.
In 2 seconds, G gets uppercutted, Mystic flared, but he gets a grave for the save. The Yules is going to lock him in place, and they're going to finish what they started and take him down. Universe, though, could be the trade. Fissure stolen here from Lil, but he's silenced up and on the run. Running right towards Illidan, who shows up. The big bad wolf is here, and he's ready to just maul right through Owie. But Sumail gets his own kill, annihilating FNG. Over hate there. Illidan cleans up Owie. Lil gets a quick snag, just the LSA. Blinks in, moves, can't catch PPD, and he's able to go down. Meanwhile, Illidan able to clear out and finish off Tusk. And now Virtus Pro charging on towards the EG base. This is all the meanwhile Fear cutting these waves, was unable to participate.
So they steal the gem from their opponents. They have an Aghanim Scepter on the Rubik now. And he again steals a really important ability, Light Strike Array. One of the best. It's 7-second cooldowns for 2.5-second disable. He can absolutely outplay his opponents with this. So not the best fight for EG there. Losing the gem, losing their supports. Tusk almost got away due to the Snowball Blink, but the Lycan was able to hit him just in time, and it scored the kill. They still haven't burned through the Aegis on the Lycan.
Yep. And he's got Shapeshift again now. Already ready. And now we'll see. Fear is just going to start going to work here. Same with Sumail. Don't really bring down a lot of the Broodlings here, but they keep the creep wave back.
Oh, silence on Ember Spirit.
But no, he's going to just step away from that. G already rotated back to the mid lane here to kind of keep this lane pressured back towards the other side. They don't want to risk being stuck in this one-way street trying to go into EG's base. That makes it a bit too clustered and a bit too easy of an opportunity for someone like PPD to jump in and have a big turnaround. They want the pressure to come from all fronts. That's what their lineup is made to do. They're not looking to be caught out on one single side.
Well, they're about to go high ground and scout it out with the Wolf. One of the best things about Wolves in the late game. He's going to ulti for this. I guess he's just going to summon and run right in. Yeah. And there they go. They've got a glyph ready to go, but will they use it just yet? No glyph popped just yet. And Snowball first. They're going to blink out. They just want to kill these if they can. Sleight of Fist comes through, does a lot of damage. BKB as well. Ult.
Nope, mech right after. Not going to be enough damage. They look to go for the racks instead and decide to pull back as the BKB does expire. Lil gets a pullback, swipes chains for himself, and will force out to safety. Not that much structural damage here, and Phobos unable to get a lot done on the bottom either. This tier 3 on the bottom, now brought down to about a third of its life. But Virtus Pro coming up short and probably the objective they were hoping to grab. Aegis also expired, no longer available. They do, of course, still have the cheese. It's on G here. But it's proving to be a bit difficult here for Virtus Pro to try to get at least these first set of Raxes down.
And every time that they do that, they're feeding more and more gold to the Ember Spirit because he Sleight of Fist hits everything, gets some cleave, and every time he kills a Necro, that's 200 gold. 2 Necros, that's like getting a kill.
Yep.
Like, it's just going to power level him a bit. Like, he's 0, 2, and 1. Like, it's such a weird game. Very, very low kill despite the time, but both teams playing very safe, and EG is really getting the most out of this, I feel, because they were moderately behind in the early game due to VP over pushing and getting tower gold and all that good stuff. FNG going to get caught. There's the Snowball. He's going to be able to punch him easily if he ends up trying to TP, but there's the slow coming through, and Illidan as well pops BKB. AOI looks awfully dead here.
Oh, man.
Fissure's going to try to help him, but it doesn't do anything.
Now he's able to blink away. Fear is going for the rest of VP, gets welcomed with an immediate catch of a Sonic Wave, and he's going to be forced to retreat. The rest of company making a go. Sumail looks to go in, go on to Illidan, but the Shallow Grave is going to save him out. G gets a quick sweep. PPD is going to be going down. Echo was expended, but obviously didn't seem to have a huge impact in this fight as Virtus Pro slowly take down 2, and now they're going to be able to ascend into the high ground mid lane without the threat of an Earthshaker or a Skywrath Mage being present. They're going to see if they can break down this set of racks. Meanwhile, bottom lane, they're also looking to infiltrate. Universe trying to keep him back and at bay, but can't quite do it. Buyback from PPD, moves in, gets silenced immediately from G.
He's in trouble.
But now G's in a bit of trouble. They snowball in. Look at Sumail from behind here. Tries to get the catch. Does not get the LSA. Lil takes it. They Laguna take down the
huge
Dazzle.
ult.
Huge ult from G. Catches a sonic wave onto the back line.
Oh, great stun from Sumail.
And they're going to get the catch. They take down Lil. Now Sumail on the run. Illidan going to make a chase on the Sumail. Decides to pull back. And what a setup onto G. They get a big Mystic Flare. And they take him apart. Phobos back at bottom lane. That tier 3 finally dropped. Oh, what a Yules. Not going to get caught for the
Fear's
nuke
got
damage.
him.
And
He's
Fear
got
goes
the gem.
right back, and he sees him, and he slashes him apart.
They won that? I was like, oh man, EG is totally screwed now. PPD bought back. He died with almost nothing accomplished, but they just barely edged out the win in that fight. That was so absolutely close. They got the gem back again. No buildings dead except for that tier 3 tower. That's it. No more Raxes. Fear gets more gold, 1,800 in the bank here. He didn't even buy back in that fight. This is looking really good for him, and that's the Daedalus on the way. He purchased that as he won that last fight.
That's got to be a bit concerning now for Virtus Pro and fans. Unable to really get a lot done. The fight being split apart so much.
Yeah.
Fear being able to keep 3 of Virtus Pro kind of back and at bay and allowed the rest of EG to kind of do work onto Phobos and to G and company really helped out. And now look at this, just Fear putting the team on his back, charging down this mid lane, going right for the tier 2. Now he hits like a truck, moves in, catches a big slide of fist, brings Lil a chunk of his life, a quarter of it. Illidan also forced to step back. They're pinging out like they might want to consider a go onto Fear here, but do they have the tools? We'll have to see.
He's got a Remnant up, so if things get a little scary, he can jump all the way back wherever his Remnant is. Puts another one down and onto the tier 2. AUI's got his Guardian Greaves picked up, so he doesn't have to worry about silence nearly as much as he did before.
Yep.
So they're all in a really good spot right here. The only thing that's dangerous is getting Rax, and with VP on the defense here, even if they do get killed, they have the potential time to respawn or buy back and defend. But they've used a lot of buybacks in that last fight.
Yeah.
It was a Tusk buyback and an Earthshaker one.
Oh, man, they move in for Sumail. Beautiful pullback into the stolen
Oh,
LSA.
snowball.
And he goes into his own snowball. BKB popped from Fear. What a sonic wave coming out from G. Gets a big connection. PPD goes down Sumail.
He
A
killed
Laguna
me.
off before he's going to get dropped as he kills Lil. G gets saved with a shallow grave, but Fear still holding strong. Gets off one brief slide of fist before he does eject out of there. 2 go down from the side of EG. Only Lil on the side of Virtus Pro.
Good fight by them. Rubik again did the blink setup into Light Strike Array. And this is where Sumail really needs a BKB. This game, the previous game we played, Lina, he opted for BKB over Aghanim Scepter. I think the Ags was the right choice here, but he's really lacking the survivability here. Like, he's getting orchided and he's screwed, and he got stunned into chain stun. If they could just save him with Snowball and he pops out with 80% HP and pops BKB, he does whatever he wants, and instead he has to panic and throw out as much as he can before he dies, and that was really tough for him to do, but he still got a kill out of it, which is good.
Another Roche, the 4th one of this game in 42 minutes now, going down. Aegis in the pocket of G, it looks like once more. FNG picking up the cheese for himself. Possibly looking to hand it off later on. And this is another tool for Virtus Pro to give it another college try-purge right back at the EG base if they want. But again, the defenses grow stronger and stronger as time goes on here, especially with Fear. Now 4K farmed up on his Ember Spirit. Is it like a double Daedalus kind of a game? Are we already thinking Rapier territory, doubling up on the cleave? We know how high of a ceiling Ember is, but where does he need to go in this kind of game?
He's very, I feel like he's pretty survivable right now. They do have quite a few disables coming out of just the Rubik alone, basically. Other than that, silences. So I think Rapier is a decent pick here. It's definitely not going to be a Scotty, because Scotty doesn't do very much against either Quap or the Lycan. So I think he just pumps his damage up, and his team's goal is just to stay alive long enough to let him slide a fist about 4 times. And if they can do that, he's going to quickly work his opponents down and give them a really good shot at winning the team fight. So I think it's got to be, it's about Rapier time.
Oh, wow,
not,
they're moving in. EG feeling confident. They want to go right for Illidan, but it's off the mark. The snowball lead in, not quite catching. A response of a BKB and a shapeshift Illidan on the chase, trying to get a hold of Universe here. Gets a brief glimmer, but that Necro book scouts him out. Sumail, though, catches out Illidan, throws him up into Yules, and allows the safety escape. But Fear, yeah, he's going in for it. Illidan's in a bit of trouble here.
Oh, this is dangerous
gets
now.
Gets forced away. Sonic Wave, not the biggest of damage here, trying to go for Sumail and Fear. Illidan gets saved from a grave, but the Laguna, and a response from Lil. Gets the return kill onto Fear. It forces the buyback, and he'll have to go for a second try. Virtus Pro, do they decide to disengage, seeing that buyback now?
I mean, they also lost Rax on the bottom.
Frickin' Phobos, man.
That was Broodmother back out there. He doesn't even have that many damage items. Just Lincoln's BKB Orchid, and bam, Rax is gone. EG lost a lot with that one.
Oh.
That was a buyback on Ember Spirit. He's still got a lot of gold somehow. Guess his buyback was only about 1,600, so not terrible. They also burn the Aegis. They still have the cheese. Looks like the cheese has been used or passed. Let me see. Yeah. Oh, cheese on the Rubik now. So, and he stole Laguna Blade again. That's 950 pure damage that goes through BKB. Lil is playing amazing this game.
Showing off why Virtus Pro go to this hero time and time again. Specifically in the hands of Lil, man. He is putting in the work here. And, well, so is Phobos, apparently. I was sleeping on Phobos there. I forgot he was in the game, and apparently so did EG, because while everything broke out, he just was infiltrating, and he just got work done in the bottom of the EG base.
Ooh.
They committed an ulti here, yeah, from Illidan.
It's pretty low cooldown at this point, 60 seconds, so a bit of a waste definitely, but they can team fight soon, so not the worst thing. They also are missing a gem here, so they're relying on sentries. A really bad place to be in, because all of a sudden Necro 3 can kill them. They have a gem of their own they can destroy. They have 2 gems actually, one on Queen and one on Dazzle. So that Glimmer Cape that they tried to utilize in the last team fight barely did anything to help.
Preemptive measures now. EG drops some sentries in the mid lane, while Virtus Pro, like vultures, surrounding the EG base here, trying to keep the pressure on all. Already taken care of from FNG. Now this one little melee Rax is all that stands between Virtus Pro claiming 2 sets and then just leaving one little hope here before they get to the Megas. And this series ends up being a split. That would mean, Purge, all 3 of our series today were splits.
That would be insane, actually, because it's looking bad for EG right now. He's blinking in.
Oh!
There's the punch on FNG. Can they kill him before he graves? He goes down. Gems on the ground.
Down, and Fear gets huge damage with a slide of fist. He ends up taking down 2. G from the back end side. Big Sonic Wave, not enough to finish off Universe, who's going to get the Glimmer came off. Now he decides to re-engage and pull back. What a hold from EG, and Universe diving in to get the Dazzle down first.
And both gems on the ground, so things completely turn around. One for each eye. Even though Tusk only has 1 eye with these cosmetics, he is absolutely set. Silver Edge picked up as well, so that's the space they need. They still lost that barracks in the mid lane regardless, so they lost something there, but man, getting the gems back is going to help a lot versus the Brood. Now Sumail can basically just hit bot by himself. He's going to BOTs at the top lane. They want to take a Rax here if they can, or at least push out the lanes really hard, and they can do that now. And DK Phobos is much less of a threat because of this.
Yeah, Phobos is just kind of like, I'm still working with bottom maybe, but EG happy to charge on forward. In fact, Fear, again to the mid lane, quickly handles this creep wave. They're going to move in the mid. He's going to cut for the top. And G quickly shows up first as a defense. They'll get done what they can. They're going to see this crew.
The head vision on the Broodmother. Oh, they still got him. Here's the snowball.
They move in. Universe gets the Walrus Punch, but I don't think he has enough to do it alone here. Needs the assistance, and
just
Phobos, he's just like, I got to get out of here.
He's just waiting for his team, and his team's not coming.
And he's able to draw the attention towards the bottom and just get out of there. Sumail grabs up an Invis rune. Oh, can he get a solo pick here? Might be.
This is. They have their own gem now. There's a gem on the Rubik, and they ping that. So he's got BOTs now. This Rubik is really farmed. Well, it's very high impact, honestly. He doesn't have like a force and other utility items, but he doesn't really need those this game. Maybe a Ghost Scepter might be nice, but ulti, they're going in.
They see PPD, they're moving right in, lift back, Illidan. Oh, easy Abyssal setup. He goes down. Mystic Flare's there,
Fear
but
got
he
Hexed.
shrugs it off. Fear hexed up, and he's going to be
Gives that
brought down.
buyback.
He can't. Oh, man, he slips out. Back to base. He is gone.
AOI as well?
and Universe.
Wow.
Oh, man, how are they slipping out from trouble?
All right, Universe is going to die at least. Okay.
I don't know. Okay, I'm not convinced till he actually dies. Okay, now he's like, I'm giving my life. He goes in with a walrus punch.
Okay.
He will end up going down. Sumail makes his own clean getaway. Fierce somehow, some way, gets his old legs out of there
That was
and
dirty.
back to Fountain.
He does go for the Scotty build, by the way. It's completely paid off there. Kept him alive just barely. Allows him to apply the slow to every single hero that he swipes on. Useful against pretty much everybody except for the Lycan when he uses ult. But even still, the HP helped. And they lost some important heroes, but they can still defend here. And PPD's up very soon. 10 seconds left on him. Doesn't have buyback. Tusk as well. No buyback.
He'll be back in time for an Echo setup. VP better recognize that, but Illidan, he wants to charge in. He goes right for the shapeshift here. They can taste victory, Purge. They get this Rex. They get Megas.
There's a lift. There's a Hex.
Fear gets hexed immediately again. And
Abyssal as
Lock.
well.
He's down. No buyback. That could have been game right there. Oh, what another quick sheep setup. They're going to rid of the Ember Spirit. Now that means the Tier 3 is going to go down, and they start going right to work on the racks.
Oh, it's so low. There's the blink stun from Lil. And the melee barracks as well. That's going to be Mega Creeps for sure. Can Sumail stop it? Echo Slam comes in. A lot of damage to Lil. He's going down. PPD's going down as well. Grave on Illidan. Sumail's going to fall. Good game. And another 1-1 for to end the day. I can't believe it.
Newbie, Virtus Pro, and Evil Geniuses will all split their series and all earn 2 points at the start of their group stage run.
What an unexpected day. Everybody's just looking pretty equal. I think EG has definitely impressed me the most out of all the teams today, but if you can't get that 2-0, your points just aren't that amazing, and Group 2 is looking like we might get down to the tiebreaker rules at this point.
I mean, I would hate to get to that point when we're seeing what team is going to make it to the next level and secure that top-seeded spot, and if the difference was just one of these games for one of these teams.
Yeah. It's the difference from one ulti or one spell used slightly better. Could have completely changed so many of the games today, but they end up all going split 1-1, and I'm sure VP was very happy about taking this win here. Throw another point on their scoreboard, and most importantly, make sure the EG doesn't get to slam out to a big victory at 4. They had this game in their grasp, but they just lost a few too many Raxes. So very surprised to see it go this way, but that's it. 1-1s all across the day for all the games we casted. So.
Makes me, I can't help but wonder the other teams in this group, how they perform. I'm sure these teams think the same thing. It's like if we're splitting all of our series 1-1, and one of those other teams, and a team that probably these, thought was maybe one of the weaker teams, ends up with a 2-0, they're suddenly the team that's in the best spot right now. And it's going to be crazy to see how this tournament continues to develop here, Purge. But what a TI5 it has been so far.
Yeah.
We saw a tremendous story and tremendous fights all the way through the wild card. This was just day one of group stage action, and we have seen countless rapiers. There's been tons of 60-minute-plus games, and we have seen on this personal stream trades from all the teams split down the middle. I'm excited. If Dota is going to be as equal as that, then we're in for a awesome international. I'm looking forward to it. So with that, gang, we are going to be wrapping things up, at least as far as this stream. There might be more Dota action happening over on the primary stream as long as the secondary stream. But for this stream, we're done here. So everyone will take 2 points here between EG, Virtus Pro, and Newbie. And we'll be back tomorrow with more action. I know it will be Zyori and Purge kind of taking over. And we'll see you soon. Thanks again. I'm Coddle Guy. That's Purge. We'll see you next time for more International 2015 coverage.